All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Chopping Up with P. Scott. I'm Prescott Kelly. Today is Labor Day. Hopefully, none of y'all are doing some labor and just hanging out and chilling out. I got my dude Jay Hall with me today. If you're not watching live, I'm gonna give you a little rundown. Josh Allen, the most overrated player by NFL players, not just me. Dame Lillard says he's done with quote unquote today's NBA. State of the Seahawks, because I got Jay Hall with me, who's a Seahawks fan. Is Mike Tomlin untouchable? Travis Hunter's NFL career path. Brandon Ayuk gets his bag. Caleb Williams for MVP. And a lot more. Like, share, subscribe, smash those 5-star reviews. If you're watching live, please share. We're always good for that. And if you're not, and just listen to the audio platforms, whatever platform you're looking on, smash.
Yeah, I'm a little busy right now. A little busy right now, brother.
You know,
A little bit of both.
give boy some love.
Yeah.
So I got my boy Jay Hall with me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, better time, brother.
All right, let me get on this thick stuff.
I wish I could, brother. Appreciate it. My bad, y'all. I had somebody at the door, actually. That's crazy.
no, so I love the fact that because I know that I don't even know what just happened with you, but for me personally, every time I try to actually plan something, it never goes right. Never. So when you had I don't even know what just happened, but something happened and you were like, I appreciate though, bro. I appreciate it. No, I'm good.
Nah, it was dude over here like selling security. He always sells like security cameras and stuff. Like security
all good, man.
cameras. Like I'm like, dude, damn it. I thought that was somebody important. That's why I wanted to open the door. And I'm right by it. I'm right by it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn it. I'm not trying to mess up the intro and shit. Hey, but that'd be a good that's a good start right there.
Yo, this is, to me, this just further proves like when people listen to certain podcasts, they think that everything's perfect. It's in the studio, and most of the time they are, because the famous people get their own studios, right?
Yeah,
But
got a lot of
real
money.
life happens with real life people. So like I'm, and you know what? I'm not editing this out either. This is gonna go in. This is absolutely going in the live.
It got to, man. Man, look here. Well, I'm glad to be on with the Josh Allen hater again. All that Buffalo stuff.
Okay.
Just Josh Allen hate is so crazy.
I'm so upset with people not understanding the assignment. Y'all think I hate. Okay, so this is where it started. All right, so me, dude.
So crazy.
No, man. Every one of you mother are irritating me because you don't listen and you don't understand the assignment. I don't hate Josh Allen. Y'all need to be clear with this. Okay. When they drafted Josh Allen, I even said, because they traded up from like 10th or 12th or whatever it was to 7 to get Josh Allen, right? So when they did it, I didn't hate the pick of Josh Allen. I didn't think they needed to trade up, was my point. And that has always been my point. But nobody wants to listen to that. They always just want to hear my hatred of Josh Allen. But now that we're further into his career, and there are certain things where when it comes to quarterbacks, I think that the Bills did the best thing that they could. They tried everything, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. When they first got Josh Allen, they knew that there was accuracy issues. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did they do to try to complement that?
Oh, I mean, first of all, they didn't play him right away.
Well, he started in the first 5 weeks, though.
Oh, he did? I thought that was Barkley. I thought Barkley started.
Matt Barkley? No.
I thought Barkley started.
No, it was Nathan Peterman was actually
It couldn't.
There was Nathan Peterman was like their dude initially. But what happened?
Maybe I'm
So
bullshitting.
let me I'm gonna clear the air real quick.
Clear the air.
This dude didn't start week 1, which is fine. I don't have a problem with him not starting or starting. But what they try to do, and this is why I give the Bills a lot of credit when it comes to Josh Allen, because they saw that there was accuracy issues coming out of college, but they wanted short, fast dudes who could, or actually initially they wanted big dudes. That's why they went and got Kelvin Benjamin. You remember him?
That was a disaster.
Exactly. Also, they wanted if you play for the Carolina Panthers, you could be a Buffalo Bill. Josh Norman, dude, they went everywhere they could to do this. So they were looking at it from the perspective of he's inaccurate. We need bigger body dudes with bigger catch radiuses. But those dudes weren't the dude. Then they realized, hey, let's just go get him a real number 1. And they got Stephon Diggs, because 2 years in the league, y'all can miss me with all this. Josh Allen is awesome, because before they got Stephon Diggs, he was cheeks. And everybody was telling me he was cheeks. I never thought that Josh Allen was booty juice. I just thought that y'all reached and did something that you didn't have to do, and you didn't have to try to get him. Stephon Diggs, this is the year, man. This is the year. With Stephon being gone, we actually find where if Josh Allen is the dude or not. And I do feel like Buffalo did it in the right organizational construct. Is we went further on a dude than we thought we could, and we got him a number 1 receiver, and he's able to finally get to the point where we know what he is. So now with Stephon, mostly because Diggs is gone now, Allen had the opportunity to grow and see what NFL speed is like, having an elite wide receiver. Now he has the opportunity to kind of grow and progress, and now he is the dude as opposed to relying on other people. But him being overrated, to me, I understand, because he's never been to a Super Bowl. Because that's what we're doing, right? We're always measuring things by Super Bowls and everything else. He's always in the MVP conversation. They always fail. Sometimes it's his fault, sometimes it's not. Do you think that he's overrated or not? Because obviously I think that he's overrated, but I don't think that he is a bad football player, even though that's the way that I'm going to be labeled as.
Do I think Josh Allen's overrated? Hell no. I think it's Patrick. I think it's
street when I
Patrick.
see him, bro.
I think we got Patrick Mahomes. We got Patrick Mahomes right here.
Yeah, it's him and then everybody else.
Josh Allen. We got Josh Allen right here.
I think you guys can go lower than that, though.
And then we got everybody else.
No,
that's just my opinion. And the whole thing with Josh Allen, and I ain't gonna lie, I was when he first came out of college, I was like, yo, why the hell is a dude getting picked top 10 who throwing 56% completion at daggone Wyoming? I was like, they're saying Lamar Jackson should be a wide receiver. Why aren't you saying Josh Allen should be a tight end? That's how I was feeling at the time.
That is 100% accurate. When it was done, when in real time, that is an absolute accurate representation of what Josh Allen was, and I have no problem with that.
Yeah, that's how I was feeling, because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't see what he became. I was sold on Lamar Jackson. I was sold on Lamar, but I didn't see this whole thing with Josh Allen. But regardless, he was damn near doo-doo that first year. But that second year, he showed enough
his
improvement.
second year wasn't great either. It
wasn't great, but it was definitely improved. So I'm like, okay, at least he's showing he can get better. And they got to the playoffs that second year, and I think they lost to Deshaun Watson. And I think that's who they lost.
Yeah, because Josh Allen was throwing to square bodies, dude. He was throwing to offensive linemen because
Hey, I'm just saying, like, the fact that they were in that game and they could have won it if they I
No,
forgot they had two dudes to sack Watson.
no,
and he just
no,
broke
no, no,
free in-
no, no, no.
He
And
broke free in overtime.
I will fight everybody in the streets on this particular thing because Tyrod Taylor got the Bills to the playoffs with a trash offensive line, no weapons whatsoever. Tyrod Taylor is the actual MVP of the Buffalo Bills. And I will die on that hill. That is the dude who I not want now, but I wish could have gotten his actual chance because I feel like he is the dude who could have actually made this team relevant. And obviously now the Bills are just bro, you get me wound up. I told myself I wouldn't get wound up, but you got me wound up.
Man,
I'm not trying to be Skip Bayless,
I
but
love Tyrod.
Skip Bayless, bro.
Hey, so as somebody who was raised in the DMV, I love Tyrod. Tyrod's my guy. Watched a lot of Tyrod at Virginia Tech. Tyrod's my guy. And I do, Rex Ryan is not the best coach to have any type of quarterback involved with. The fact that the Bills were even somewhat watchable with Rex Ryan as the head coach is
they
actually
weren't
a
even,
miracle.
no.
It's actually a miracle.
No. We're not doing that. They weren't watchable, man. They weren't watchable.
You had Tyrod, you had Shady McCoy. Who else?
We had an old.
You had Sammy Watkins. You got one good year of Sammy Watkins.
No, that's my whole thing, man. Sammy Watkins was
Marquise Goodwin.
He was good. When he was an NFL player, there were 16 games in a season. He was good for 16 games his entire career. I never want to hear Sammy Watkins' mother mouth ever again. I hate that dude.
Hey,
I do.
He played his best football with Tyrod.
No, Tyrod was. So you're telling me that they had Shady McCoy? Yeah, they had Shady, but they had Shady at the end of his career because everybody wants to say, once you get to your 30s, like you're done, son, you're done, and that has always been the narrative. Which they got Shady. Not
and they had Mike Tolbert.
I swear to God, oh man, you just
Hey man, that's an all-pro fullback right there.
Jay, I love you, but I swear to God, if I ever see you, I will fight you in the streets. Mike Tolbert.
Hey, that's a little bowling ball right there, man.
He was. Yes, he was fullback Maurice Jones-Drew with less talent. But what you're doing, dude. What you're doing right now is you are going fantasy football vulture. Mike Tolbert was absolutely a fantasy football vulture. Now I gotta say something. Go ahead.
I was just thinking like they could run the ball for real. Like Tyrod, Shady McCoy.
Now?
I'm talking about at that time. Tyrod, Shady McCoy. So y'all ran the skin off the ball.
No, it was the only thing they had though. The Bills had fat Calvin Benjamin and a broken Charles Clay. Like that offense. I'm so tired of people telling me how good that offense was just because they made the playoffs. They put up 3 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they had Blake Bortles. This is not a thing. I'm not going to entertain the idea.
I forgot who it was. Mike Gillislee.
Good dog. I'm just not gonna do it.
That's who I was thinking of. Not Mike Tolbert, Mike Gillislee. That's the other guy y'all had.
Well, we had Gillislee too. Well, they had.
I know you had Tolbert at the end, but like Mike Gillislee was who I was thinking of.
No, but Gillislee. That's the whole thing. Is like so. I have this dude. All right. So, are you familiar? I'm not gonna get. We got to stay on construct because the audio audience is not going to know everything that we're talking about. But are you familiar with a guy named Anthony McBride? Not. He's not a professional athlete. It's just on social media. Are you familiar with him?
Anthony McBride. Nah, I don't think so.
All right. So this dude was absolutely hammering me because I would say the Bills had a running game. They just didn't use it. And he was telling me, how do you have one, but you don't use it? And I said, because they don't, because the Bills are trying to just cram Josh Allen down our throats as the second coming of Jesus when it comes to quarterbacks. And he's not. He's the second coming of Jesus to quarterbacks for the Buffalo Bills, but not for the entire league. So when I tell people they have a run game, they just don't use it. I was getting clowned by this dude specifically for years. And then last year, when they completely shut off Stephon Diggs, and then they started using James Cook, he's like, my bad. You right. Yeah, because you don't watch the Bills. Nobody watches the Bills. The only reason why you watch the Bills now is because Josh Allen is the dude, and they're cramming him down our throats as he is the next dude. And I appreciate what he does. And what I don't appreciate is people misunderstanding my interpretation of what Josh Allen is. I know that he's awesome. He is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He also makes a lot of dumb mistakes. He also is somebody he's gonna turn the ball over. He's gonna be reckless. But we don't look at that, man. We just look at the eyeball test of how, when I see you play football, how awesome are you? So like Brock Purdy versus Josh Allen, for just for argument's sake, who would you rather have?
Josh Allen.
Actually, before I say that, who would you rather have on your team? Not watch, because Josh Allen is obviously the more entertaining player. But who would you rather have as your quarterback for your actual team? You're a Seahawk. You're a Seahawk. You're a Seahawk.
Josh Allen, 100 times out of 100. Now, I'm one of those dudes that I'm not on the Purdy hate either. I respect Brock Purdy. Whenever somebody tries to get on Brock Purdy saying, "Oh, he just has all the weapons, look at his team," no, dude can play. Brock Purdy can play.
But the thing is that we don't actually know that. When he doesn't have all the monsters, dude, we've seen it. When he didn't have Debo, didn't have Ayuk, and didn't have Trent Williams, they were what, 0-4 last year? 0-3?
I mean, Ayuk always played. Trent missed a game. Debo missed a game. Debo was injured his rookie year, and he still went undefeated in the regular season. I think sometimes you just have to look at a matchup. When they played against the Cleveland Browns, who had arguably the best defense in the league, that's a tough matchup. You know, the thing is, like, you can't just like everybody's entitled to a few stinkers. Like, you're not going to play great every game. Sometimes the defense gets the better of you. You know, I'm not big, and as a Seahawks fan, I want the 49ers to lose. I want them to lose every chance they get. So I was happy they were losing, because that meant that we could, you know, maybe creep back up into the standings, even though it didn't happen. But, you know, Brock Purdy's like the only young quarterback that it seems like is not getting any type of grace.
As he's still
23.
He shouldn't get any grace.
24. You like if he doesn't play perfectly every game, like, come on, man, that's not realistic.
No. So for those that are watching, if you're watching live, please like, share, subscribe, smash those 5-star reviews, and share to the other platforms that we're on, especially where me and Jay are on, so we can get some more interaction. No, man, so even though I don't want to do this because we're cross-pollinating sports because it's college versus NFL, but let's just put it hypothetically in this position of Brock Purdy doesn't play, okay? Or this just him, okay? Let's take all the other players and all of their injuries out of the situation. If Brock Purdy doesn't play, the NFL, like, that team largely runs the exact same way. And I'm going to cross-pollinate that to Colorado with Shedeur Sanders. And again, I understand it's two completely different sports. But if Colorado doesn't have Shedeur Sanders at all, that team that's getting relegated down to high school, man. Without Brock Purdy, they've already proven like they traded up, they gave up all these assets to get Trey Lance, and they whiffed on that. And they're still in the NFC Championship game every single year, bro. Like Brock Purdy doesn't mean that much. I'm not saying he's a trash player because I think that he's a good dude, but that you and I kind of talked about this. There's 3 or 4 dudes that we know that are up here. There's 3 or 4 dudes that are down here. And then in that mediocre range is everybody else, depending on circumstance. And Brock Purdy, to me, seems like a circumstantial dude.
I think Brock, like,
get animated, bro. Get animated. Don't be stoic. Don't be stoic.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. As much as like I said, I want them to not be successful. But also, if you're gonna take a guy away, like if you're gonna take a quarterback away, and if that team still runs the same, it depends on who you replace him with. Like you're back, like you can't replace. Like if you replace, like I'm saying, if you have Brock, because Trey Lance and Jimmy G got hurt, and they could replace him with Brock Purdy.
That was my exact point with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo was where I was going to go next. It's because we got to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, who was the last person picked in the draft.
That's more so bad. That's bad scout. That's bad scouting, honestly. If he's the last pick in the draft, that's just terrible scouting.
Well, it's not. Okay, I agree with that because it's not bad scouting, but it is bad scouting, but not just by San Francisco, but by the entire league.
Yeah, that's by everybody. When I saw that he was the last pick, I was like, damn, nobody drafted Brock Purdy.
And that's fair.
I was like, yo, if I know that, I mean, he's the third quarterback. You got Trey Lance, you got Jimmy G. But the way the 49ers be getting injured, I was like, this could be, you never know. The way the 49ers be dropping like flies sometimes, you never know. Just like the Ravens with running backs, you got to always have a bunch of them. You gotta have a bunch of them. And I was a Trey Lance guy coming out of college. I thought Trey
really
Lance
this wasn't all right. So this wasn't on the docket, but now we live here right now. You were high on Trey Lance.
I was.
You know what? You're not the only person though, bro.
I will.
This is a safe space. This is a safe space.
I will eat that. But granted, I kind of got I don't want to say a pass from it, but like. Because he got injured, and there wasn't like a heavy sample size of his games. There was a heavy unknown when it came to Trey Lance. Now, kind of seeing him in Dallas and in the preseason, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
All right, so let me ask you this: so you can be high on a quarterback, right? We've all. If you say that you've never been wrong on a quarterback in the first round, then you're a liar, and I want nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Trey Lance, this is you and I kind of talked off air a little bit. Like there's certain players that I knew that wouldn't be good. Zach Wilson, too pretty. Mac Jones walks like a Welshman. Trevor Lawrence, you look like Fabio. Like there's just certain vibes that I get. I get these,
especially Zach Wilson and Josh Rosen for me. I don't know what it was about Josh Rosen.
Dude, right? But like we want to say that we know certain things when we as fans really don't know anything. But we have got like Trey Lance. He was a dude who looked the part, but he didn't have a whole lot of reps at North Dakota State. I feel like what most people were doing was, oh well, Carson Wentz was raw. He was really good. Let's just go ahead and go draft Trey Lance as well. It's an oversimplification, but I do feel like that's what most people were doing. And the dude played 4 games in college and then couldn't make he couldn't beat up Brock Purdy, who was the last person drafted, and he was a number 3 overall pick that San Francisco traded up to get. Like, I don't know what if I'm San Francisco, I'm never, as long as Kyle Shanahan is my offensive coordinator / coach, I'm never drafting a quarterback outside the top 300 people ever, man. Like he gets whatever he wants with whoever he wants.
He knows the type of players that he wants. Each guy that he picks has something that he looks for in whatever role that he wants for that team. So it's a lot easy. So it's easier for him to get the. It's easier for him to get the guys he wants because he knows the guy. He knows exactly what he's looking for.
Well, yeah, there's that. So there is a lot. What I love so much right now is I haven't really addressed the chat that much, and I probably should, but I love how people are just fighting each other in the internet streets.
Is Nigel in the chat? I remember the last time we talked about Nigel. Nigel in the chat.
No, not Nigel's not in the chat, but it's largely like there's some activity going on, but they're all
Hey,
yelling at each other, which is cool. Y'all stay engaged. Y'all stay here, please. Yell at each other, and we'll keep this thing moving. But to get back to real quick, before we move on to the next subject matter, is Josh Allen, I think, is overrated. All right, so y'all have to bear with me before y'all bite my head off. You can, if you're great, right? So Josh Allen, I know and I acknowledge that he's awesome now. The first 2 years, when people were telling me that this has been a continuous talking point of this podcast for 3 years. I know that Josh Allen was awesome. I know that he is awesome. But when he was cheeks the first 2 years, everybody told me, yo, he's doo-doo butter. Why'd you even draft him? I know why they drafted him. They just didn't have to trade up to get him. I think that he's awesome. You can be awesome and still be overrated at the exact same time. Mostly because every single year when we're talking about MVP status, or we talk about who's going to win the division, everything else. Right now, the first 2 years, it wasn't Josh Allen. Now it is. Now it's him. He is the dude. When is he going to start getting the backlash that Lamar Jackson gets, that Joe Burrow gets? Right? Because Joe Burrow is like the second coming of Jesus as well, but is it because he went to a Super Bowl?
Joe Burrow gets a lot of passes.
He gets so many, dude.
Joe Burrow gets so many passes.
Exactly. And that's kind of my thing is we get to this point of you can like a certain dude as far as an NFL player, right? Like you can have your biases, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, man, like you can't deny what the resume is. And especially because I'm somebody, you and me, I feel like you and I kind of layer ourselves pretty similarly. Like we don't really do like the whole like top 5 basketball, football, everything else like that. We realize there's different eras and rule changes and things like that. So we don't really invest in who is the best. And mostly I don't get it. Like I understand people like Josh Allen though, man. They love him. And that is why, to me, I'm not saying he's not awesome. I'm not saying he's not great, but is he overrated? Absolutely. And that's not a dog on him. Overrated is an overrated thing, though. It doesn't mean I'm saying that he's trash, though, because he's not.
Overrated, it doesn't mean you're trash. Because you can't be bad and overrated. You can't be bad and overrated.
You can.
No, you can't.
You can. It most likely won't happen, but you can be.
I don't know somebody who's bad and overrated.
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin's not overrated. I mean, Linsanity was what it was, but exactly. once that died, he was just a solid NBA player.
No, but never bad. Oh, even Solid's being generous.
He's solid, like 13 points, 6 assists. Like that's decent.
That's what he averaged. But it's overrated. I'm with you, man. I'm not saying that Jeremy Lin wasn't a bad player, but when you put the label of overrated or underrated, you have to put the benchmark of what is this person actually. So like with Josh Allen, he's great. We know that. But he's still getting the love of MVP candidacy, but hasn't been to a Super Bowl. But Lamar Jackson's won 2 MVPs. Patrick Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls. And now he's in the record of overrated, because for me, the way that I look at it is from the saturation of just sports media, right? So when it comes to like Patrick Mahomes, people say he's overrated. You can't be overrated. Like the dude's won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years, 6 years as a starter. This dude's crushing it, but he's not overrated. You're being blindsided by your own bias and your own hatred, and your oversaturation it comes to comedy. And I made this point the other day with when it comes to like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is oversaturated now. He's not funny. He was funny initially, but he's gotten pushed down on the throats, and that's where Kansas City and that's where Patrick Mahomes is now. Is that now he's too good, but now we think he's overrated, even though he's not. But even though they're not the same, because Kevin Hart is not. Kevin Hart
is on my comedy Mount Rushmore, and I'm not going to talk anything further about Kevin Hart.
You say he's on.
I'm not talking anything further about Kevin Hart. Anyway,
you were about to. So Kevin Hart's on your Mount Rushmore.
I'm not talking any further about it.
Are you not talking any further because you can't really defend it, or you're not taking?
I'm not talking any further about it. That's just what it is. He's on my comedy Mount Rushmore. My comedy Mount Rushmore. Me personally, Kevin Hart, Bernie Mac, Gabriel Iglesias, and Eddie Griffin. Those are my top.
No,
those are my 4.
Gabriel Iglesias, nah, bro. You gotta get out of here.
Those are my 4.
I don't care. You don't even have Dave Chappelle.
You can cut. Honorable mention. Like I said,
This is
my 4. This is my 4, and I don't care. My 4.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We're 30 minutes into this. I'll say it again. I will fight you in the street if Dave Chappelle is not in your top 4. In your Mount Rushmore?
Definitely in my top 10.
Nah, man, we're not doing honorable. No,
but like I said, I didn't want to talk about it. But here you go. I didn't want to talk about it. But like I said, let's stay on topic. Let's stay.
I'll be respectful.
Let's get out of there.
I'll be respectful, man. I do.
The whole thing with, I will always say this. I think the one thing about Josh Allen is that I think the reason Lamar Jackson gets most of the smoke is because Lamar Jackson is usually pretty bad in the playoffs. Whereas for the most part, Josh Allen has been pretty good in the playoffs for the most part. Right. And I'll never forgive that Buffalo Bills defense for allowing Kansas City to tie the game with 13 seconds left. Like, how do you do that?
I'm very close to just turning you off from this show.
I'm with you. I was angry because I was angry.
I quit my job the exact same day that happened, man. I was so
bro. I was like, bro, because this was such a good game, and I'm like, bro, 13 seconds. And then when I saw the defense they were playing, I'm like, oh, this is bad. They're just gonna throw the ball to Tyreek Hill, boom, throw the ball to Kelsey, like already in field goal range in 2 passes. They traveled like 40 yards in 8 seconds.
It's pretty.
Yeah, but I do think honestly speaking, I do think if Buffalo wins that game, they win the Super Bowl. I think if they won that game, then they win the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that.
But the whole thing about Josh Allen, and I know he turns the ball over. I know he's going to turn the ball over. Yeah, he does. He does.
Lot.
When you score that many touchdowns, your turnovers. I'm not saying they don't matter because they do, but you get a little bit of breathing room if you score that much. Josh Allen ever since that third year, he scored at least 40 total touchdowns in each year.
So the thing for me is I understand that, and this is why I tell, but people don't want to listen. And I love Mario. He said that you've been pushing me to the edge all episode. You haven't been pushing me to the episode or to the edge all episode. When you're talking to yourself, it doesn't hit the same as just communicating with somebody else, right? I know all these things are true. I know that Josh Allen's awesome, but he's also reckless. And he's also overrated because you're right. Yes, he has a bunch of total touchdowns. But the things for me, circumstantially, can you do it? So even with Patrick Mahomes, you and I kind of talked about this earlier. Mahomes is here, and then it's everybody else. Like I'm not even just clowning on Josh Allen. It is just Mahomes.
But that's true. Like if you think Lamar's better, fine. If you think Burrow's better, fine. I'm talking about then Josh Allen. But
Right.
it's definitely Lamar. Not Lamar. Mahomes here, and then whatever else you want. Honestly.
Right. And that has been my point the last 3 years on this podcast is it is Mahomes and it's everybody else because circumstantially the Chiefs were a team that we thought had the worst wide receiving core in football. Now 2 years in a row and won back-to-back Super Bowls. Why? Because circumstantially, you pick up those third downs. Circumstantially, you keep your drive alive. Circumstantially, you give your defense the ability to get another breath. Josh Allen is just somebody who's like, put on my back, dog. It's all on me. Oh, you think I'm the... And I do understand why. Because the Bills have been... They've been so urged for another quarterback since Jim Kelly that the NFL and Bills fans are trying to tell you Josh Allen is the guy. He's the guy for that franchise. But if you're asking me who would I rather have, him or Patrick Mahomes, I'm still, bro, like you said, I can name 5 other quarterbacks, bro. Like it's the same thing because it's not just about the quarterback. The quarterback does mean something. But like you and I talked about earlier, the Niners have been to Super Bowls with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. Build a better football team, bro. It's not, to me, Josh Allen, he is overrated. I'm not saying he's not awesome, but is he overrated? To me, yes.
Hey, we just gonna, when it comes to that, we're gonna disagree on that. But it's all good. But I will say this about I ain't gonna lie. The one thing the 49ers can replace is running backs. Because Raheem Mostert, I think Raheem Mostert had the I know one thing for sure. Brock Purdy's not winning a playoff game throwing 8 passes. I don't think that's happening.
Dude,
I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening.
I hate you so much right now because you said that and the Bills lost the Patriots when Mac Jones threw 3 passes, and I have PTSD, and I want to.
I remember that too. That's crazy. Oh, you remember
right now, dog?
I think. Remember when Tebow completed 2 passes and won a game?
I don't want to hear about that, Ronnie. Dude, remember when the Dolphins reinvented the Wildcat and they beat the absolute brakes off the Patriots? And Ronnie Brown had like 6 total touchdowns.
Ronnie Brown had 5 touchdowns, which was crazy. And then the Wildcat kind of died after that. It was on a slow, painful death.
Because Cam Newton was an actual quarterback, and they're like, "Oh, this will just be an extension of that." And no, it wasn't.
Hey, but we gotta move on, brother.
Yeah, we do. All right. So anyway, when it comes to that argument, I was right and Jay was wrong. Moving on. All right. So Dame Lillard, to me, if there's 2 dudes in the NBA who I can't stand, it's Dame Lillard and it's Giannis. Giannis, they both, to me, play the card of wanting to pander to the fan. So when Dame said the other day that he doesn't like today's NBA because, well, it's all about rings, it's all about this and that. And so the whole reason why you don't like that is because, for me, this is the way that I look at it. You think that you've realized your mortality in the NBA space. Now you're realizing that you're not going to win anything, even though you're with Giannis. You're telling me I don't like the way that today's NBA is. But you were in today's NBA when you got into the league, bro. You're just realizing your mortality and realizing that you're never going to win a championship, and you'll be realized as a great scorer, but nobody's going to remember you, bro.
So I agree with one thing you said. So I love Giannis. I'm a Giannis guy, but I
hate everything about Giannis.
Let me finish. But I agree. If there's one person that I think is mad overrated, is Dame. And the reason I don't hate Dame at all, but the reason I think he's overrated is simply because people, including Dame himself, you want to put yourself on the same tier as Stephen Curry. But then when you get a chance in the Western Conference Finals against Stephen Curry, no KD, mind you, and then you get your absolute head bashed in, swept, despite having a lead in every game, you getting your head bashed in. Steph averaging 34. Steph averaging like 36. You averaging 24, shooting 37% from the field. Come on now. The whole ring thing. Now I do think that ring culture can be toxic, but Dame, you're cool. Dame, you're cool being a big. Dame, you were cool being a big fish in a small pond. And that's okay. There are some people that are just like that. They want to stay in their little bubble. If they win, cool. If they don't win, cool. You know who else was like that? Somebody I compare Dame a lot to, Gilbert Arenas. Just like that. Big fish, small pond.
Actually, that's a good comp. I like that.
Like they're in essence the same. They're in essence almost the same kind of player, except Gilbert just got hurt and was doing dumb shit, but we don't gotta get into that. But you know what I'm saying?
Because I know that people are going to be like, well, they're not the same because Dame's obviously better. He played longer, has more points and everything. Like, and the Sims are just going to do that. But I think the comp is actually fairly accurate.
Gilbert was that guy for from a scorer's perspective? Gilbert was that guy for a few years.
Dude, he had a 2 or 3 year run where he was arguably one of like a top 8 to 9 ish player in the NBA. He had a run.
Yeah, like I said, living in the DMV, Gilbert was huge. Gilbert was age of 0 was huge in the DMV growing up. But I do love Giannis.
Why do you? To me, he's just a faster Dwight Howard. I cannot stand Giannis.
The thing I love about Giannis is the thing I love the most about Giannis is that he plays balls to the wall every night. Giannis is trying to go as hard as he can every night. And somebody who appreciates effort, I love that. Giannis ain't out here trying to be friends with nobody. He's authentically his corny kind of lonesome self. He's, you know what I'm saying? He tries to work on things. Will he ever get a jump shot? Probably not.
Bro, he
probably won't. But he tries. He tries to work on it. He tries to I don't want to say perfect. He tries to better what he's bad. He tries to better what he's bad at.
No,
sometimes you're gonna be bad. Sometimes you're not gonna. You can't be good at everything. But to see how he was,
I'm awesome at everything, bro.
Okay, sure you are. You can't even pick good football teams. I don't want to hear that. And you got a Blue Jays hat on. I'm curious. Are you a Blue Jays fan?
No, man. It just color coordinates with most of the stuff I got, man.
Okay, I was curious because I don't know much about baseball.
Also, so I didn't do this on purpose, but when the Bills may have almost relocated Toronto, I was like, I should probably buy some Toronto gear. So there was that as well. But no, but with Giannis, man, like it's just to me, like I've gotten a lot of in this chat about like how I don't appreciate greatness. I appreciate greatness, but I also have the ability to see that there are certain things where aesthetically it's not pleasing to me. So with Giannis, so when he was a kid, and I still see him he's not doing the exact same things. I want to be fair on that. But I remember when he was first or second year in the league where he thought he got fouled and ran down the court and basically blinds.
Oh, you talking about when he hit Dunleavy?
Yeah.
That wasn't his first year for sure. That was definitely early. That was definitely early in the career.
I know it was. Yes, it was early in his career, but he still has like the same kind of complex. And I'm like, bro, one, there's that, and two, like he is just, to me, again, I understand how awesome he can be given the height, the athletic ability, everything like that. But aesthetically pleasing to me, I don't want to watch him. He's just a faster Dwight Howard, and I don't want to watch that.
I mean, he got a lot more handle than Dwight.
No,
he got a lot better.
Right. No, I know that. But I'm saying, when you look at those dudes physically, they look physically the same. Like they are ripped as hell. They are physical freaks. But
Giannis worked for that. Giannis worked for that though.
Well, Giannis was like,
come on now. Giannis came in the league when he was like 190 when he came in the league.
Well, what was Dwight Howard though?
Dwight Howard was like 240.
No, 240.
Like 230, 240.
No,
Dwight Howard was huge.
No.
No, he got bigger. He did get bigger, but Dwight Howard came into the league big.
He didn't come in the league big.
He came in the league big. Like he wasn't obviously you get bigger over time, but he came into the league physically like ready. Giannis went from you just steadily saw the progression. Giannis went from 180 to like 240, 250.
Performance enhancing drugs.
He was
on that David Robinson diet, dude. David Robinson was like the most yoked up dude that I've ever seen play basketball, man. He was
David Robinson was a unit.
Crazy. All right, so
that's that military stuff, I guess.
That's fair. So, yes or no? Before we move on to the Seattle Seahawks, Dame Lillard. Hate him, yes or no?
Do I hate him? No.
I'm starting to.
I don't hate him.
I don't hate him either.
But you know, he be getting on my nerves, man. He do. Because and then he tried to say he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I'm like, how?
Bro, that is why I'm so irritated with him and people, is that when he was in Portland, he was saying, I want to win here. I want to do it the right way. I'm going to do it the way that you want me to do. And then he goes to Milwaukee, and now he realizes, I can't even win here. I can't even win a championship here. Now he's so, and we see this with just people, and this is why I'm not mad at Dame, but I'm irritated with the hypocrisy. Stop telling me you want to do it in one place and then you want to go someplace else. Same with Giannis. He's telling everybody, well, I want to live here. I want to win here. But he also he did the same shit Kobe was doing.
He was using his leverage. I mean, exactly. Kobe didn't really have any.
I mean, he did, but he tried to use it, but then backpedal. But that's the whole thing, is like Giannis is doing the same thing where he's saying, well, I want to win here, but then he realizes,
I mean, he did.
I can't do it unless y'all help me because I'm not the owner. But I have no problem with players doing this. I need people to understand it. What I'm irritated about is the players saying these things and then backpedaling once they realize their mortality, and then realize, you know what? If I didn't do what I did, it would have been different. And that's what Dame's doing. That's what Giannis has done. And those two dudes specifically, the fake patriotism. I call it fake patriotism. I can't stand that, man. Go do you. Go make your money. Go be happy. But don't tell me one thing and then absolutely go in a different direction and pretend like that's your goal in life, because it's not. It's just when things didn't go your way, now you want to change the narrative. I'm not here for that.
I think with Dame, I'll give Dame a little bit of a break because I think he truly wanted to stay in Portland. I do think the organization itself started doing things that made it seemed like they were tearing down things. You're trading CJ. You have a top pick that maybe you could trade and get an established player, but no, you went and you got Scoot, and now you're trying to get Anthony Simmons. You got Scoot, and you draft Shaedon Sharpe, and you're trying to get Anthony Simmons more minutes. That's not the recipe for a team that's trying to win now. So I see. I'll give Dame that. Like, he wanted to, but the organization, he wanted to stay, but the organization was kind of like, "Yo, we're gonna rebuild now," and he didn't want to be a part of a rebuild. So I'll give him that, and I'll give Milwaukee at least another year, especially because Giannis didn't play in the postseason. I'll give them another year to see if they can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But But at the end of the day, Giannis was just using his leverage. Like, hey, if y'all don't get this roster together, because Eric Bledsoe and George Young were playing like doo-doo butter in the playoffs, if y'all don't get this roster together, I might have to see what my options are.
But see, and the thing,
and then you get Drew, and then you get Drew, which they should have kept Drew, traded him to get Dame. I was not a fan of it, and that's what y'all get. And I'm mad because damn Portland would give him to fucking Boston. I'm still mad about that.
But see, and we'll move on to the Seattle Seahawks relatively shortly. This is why, to me, Giannis will never be considered one of the greats, is because
oh god,
don't.
Oh, God.
No, I'm not.
Oh God,
bro, I'm not saying he's not awesome. God, all of you motherfuckers need to chill out with me.
If he's not one of the greats is crazy.
Okay, so this has always been my point. Where is the line of demarcation? Where do we stop one of the greats? Where do we stop it then? Then I'll put that on you, Jay. Where do we put the line of demarcation of you are not considered one of the greats?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think such and such? My whole thing with one of the greats.
Actually, no. You answer my question before you ask me a question, bro. Where is the line of demarcation? Where is the line of you aren't great? Because I know that he's great. That is not my point. Y'all need to stop twisting my mother words. I know he's great, but on the greatest, where do you put, where is the line of demarcation of Giannis is no longer considered one of the greatest? I need an answer from you. How far are you willing to put him down, bro?
How far am I willing to put him down?
To say that he's not, where are you willing to put him down in your top 1 through 100, whatever, doesn't matter. To say that he's not great.
Definitely between 20 and 30.
Okay, so
definitely between 20 and 30.
Fair enough. I don't agree with that necessarily, but I did an episode last year when it came to wide receivers. And I said, everybody's got a top 5 wide receiver. Who are your top 5 wide receivers in the NFL? And I got 20 different answers. Okay. Same thing with Giannis. I don't think that Giannis is going to make, if you put the line of demarcation top 20, I don't think he even makes that by most NBA fans. Yes or no?
By most fans, maybe not.
That's my point. I'm only saying because I'm tired of the overreactionary. I'm tired of what we see right now is the best. I'm also tired of the old heads just saying, well, Bob Cousy. No, man, come on, man. Bob Cousy was doing, he did a crossover and everybody thought that was the most lit ever. Like,
Hey
let's
man,
stop.
I like to give the old heads. I like to give the old head. Well, not the 80s and 90s dudes. I mean, like the guys who played in the 50s and 60s. I like to give them their respects. So
Sure.
I don't be talking. You know, yeah, it was not. Yeah, what we know now is obviously way better, but you can only play in the circumstances that you can play in. And I'll say this:
I have no problem.
if you put guys
I have
today,
no problem with that take.
if you put guys today and tell them to play like the guys 60 years ago played. All right, tell stars, okay, play 46 minutes a night, Daisy Dukes, Chuck Taylors, heavier ball, no free throw line, when fans are allowed to be as brutally racist as possible. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, unless you play in Boston.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Shoot, Bill Russell even dealt with racism in Boston, which is crazy. All those championships, and people still had issue with Bill Russell. But
yeah, because what I've always been told is that, well, as long as you win, that doesn't matter. Which it's weird that you think that winning equates to not being racist, but also the fact that there was a lot of winning going on there, and
Bill Russell still had problems.
Just kind of
Bill Russell still had problems. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But but a lot of these old heads that love to say, "Oh, you know, these guys are soft." Back in my day, oh, you wouldn't be able to play in my area. We knock you on the ground. Especially those 80s guys that think, oh, they would knock Curry on the ground. You know how many little guards ate in the 80s and 90s?
Well, that's
Isaiah
always
Thomas, Tim Hardaway,
yeah.
Kevin Johnson, Calvin Murphy, Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury,
Dude,
Damon Stoudemire.
Yo, Mighty Mouse was nice. Mighty Mouse was
Adams,
nice.
Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb. They were all Terrell Brandon.
All you do is just naming short dudes.
No, but I'm saying if those guys could all have some deep Rod Strickland, if those guys could all have some success during that time frame when we would take these guys out, there were no layups. You think Stephen Curry, who's bigger than all of them, all those guys
Dude, right. He's 6'4" and the best shooter we've ever seen. Spot up off the dribble.
Like 190, 200 pounds. Steph Curry is the size of Gary Payton. And they try to act like he's little. I'm like, dude, Steph Curry is the same size as Gary Payton. But nah, let me chill.
Yeah, these dudes are whack, man. If you have that kind of, you don't have to always say somebody's the greatest or the worst, but I do need you at some point in time to realize sports has changed. Don't be a Neanderthal. Moving on.
That's a mic drop moment.
That's a mic drop. Seattle Seahawks. You're a Seahawks fan. What is your perception of what you think their overall outcome would be? Because for me, I am the AFC is so bonkers right now. The NFC for me is relatively top heavy. So I don't think that the Seahawks will win the division, right? I feel like it's either San Francisco or maybe Los Angeles, just depending on how injuries break, things like that. But I do see them as a team that could potentially be a wild card team. What's kind of your thought process on the Seahawks, the overall team going forward? Are you excited about this team, or are you just kind of like it's merp?
It's all about, at the end of the day, it's the trenches for me. So it's all about the trenches. If Seattle can just be average in the trenches, then that's a Super Bowl contender. I'll stamp on that. But being average in the trenches we've routinely been ass in the trenches, so that obviously limits things. Because eventually, yeah, you can have DK, you can have Tyler Lockett, you can have Jackson Smith-Njigba, you can have Noah Fant. I think Seattle's skill position, that's a top 5 skill position group, in my opinion.
top 5 skill position group as far as like
Running
corner,
backs,
wide
running back,
receivers,
no,
running backs?
not those. No, just offense, like running backs, receivers, tight ends. I think that's a top. In my opinion, that's a top 5 group.
Really? Top 5, huh?
I think that's a top 5 group. Just though, just
For
those.
what? So you said wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs?
Yes, I think that's a top 5 group.
I
But that's not. But that's me. But that's me. But
put your
think-
bias aside, though.
no, for real. My bias is aside. But the problem is Seattle has routinely shown that they can't block for shit. And
Okay, that is 100% accurate.
yeah, the defensive line. I think I forgot who it was. The Steelers last year. We had a playoff implication game where beating the Steelers, we would have controlled our own destiny. The Steelers drug their nuts across our face. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren could not be stopped. It was so bad. They could not be stopped. The trenches is all I care about because you give me, I don't even need a grade. Give me an offensive line and a defensive line that's ranked between 15 and 20. If you give me between 15 and 20, then I can take my chances with Seattle. But you can't be 26 to 32 and expect to do anything in the playoffs.
Well, no. So, and to be fair, like I don't consider Seattle to be. So I asked LaShawn when he was on the podcast. I've asked Jay. I've had you know the usual suspects of like what's the furthest you would go down as far as wages are concerned before you think that it's a waste of money. And Seattle to me is you're getting real close to that because could they win Super Bowl? I never want to discount anybody, but there are certain teams where it's like the Patriots. No, I'm not putting money on them, right?
I would.
Right. So, but we get to a certain point, and we start to theorize what is the lowest that we go. And Seattle to me is kind of that. Maybe yes, maybe no, because like you said, there's a
like
the skill position guys there are awesome.
Definitely.
Witherspoon's awesome. DK. Jackson.
Julian Love, like the skill position guys are awesome, but it's the big guy. It's the trenches. The trenches is where you win.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Chris Jones doesn't make a few great plays, then Chris Jones single-handedly stopped 2 Brock Purdy touchdowns in that Super Bowl. One in overtime and one in I think it was the 4th quarter. Chris Jones just came through like unblocked. I don't know if he was unblocked or the dude missed that badly, but Chris Jones came through and Brock Purdy just had to get rid of it. But when you see who was open, he had a wide open touchdown. But the trenches is where, at the end of the day, that's where it is. The Chiefs have now, since Aaron Donald's gone, you have the best defensive player, arguably in the league. You got the best center. You got arguably the best center guard combo in the league. Detroit maybe now, but still up there. The trenches is what is going to win games at the end of the day, regardless of who you got. People talk about Mahomes not having the receivers, and that's fair. But I would rather have trash receivers and a good offensive line than good receivers and a trash offensive line. Because at some point they're going to get open.
Absolutely give you that.
At some point, guys are going to get open. Some point, guys are going to get open. But if guys don't have time to get open, then you're screwed. That's the only thing with me. I think Seattle has the players and the personnel to win it. All jokes aside.
You said to win it.
Yes, to win it.
What do you mean by win
the Super Bowl? I think they can, but their struggle is in the trenches. And if you don't fix the trenches, you're not winning. If the Seahawks were were better in the trenches, then I think they could win a Super Bowl. But based on what I've seen, and as bad as they have been, then we're just gonna be, At worst, 7. At worst, 7 wins. At best, why you making that face?
Because you
I
just
said
went
at worst. I said at worst. I said based
yeah,
on
you
what
went
I've
from that,
seen.
bro. You went from at worst 7 wins to at best winning the Super Bowl, bro. How the
No,
how the
you
fuck you come to that conclusion?
listen. I said this is what I said. I said if we improved in the trenches, and I said based on what I've seen, like overall, based on history, we won't. So, if assuming that we don't improve in the trenches, we're gonna be that run of the mill team again. At
So
worst, 7
okay,
wins. At best, 10 wins.
okay. So what move? And we need we need to move on to the next topic soon.
Uh,
But so you're saying if they improve the offensive line this year, they could win a Super Bowl.
if they improve,
I,
no,
I,
both sides. No, both sides.
okay, either way. So now we're doubling down. What shoot, holy what do you think is a reasonable upgrade this year that you could trade for then to improve both sides? Because if you're saying they could win the Super Bowl, dude, if if the Buffalo Bills got Trent Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Christian McCaffrey, they could win Super Bowl too, bro. Like,
Hey,
what do you what is a realistic expectation of?
no, I don't expect them to. No, I understand. I don't expect them to win the Super Bowl at all.
But you said if
But
they improved on the lines that they might.
yeah,
So
see,
what's
I
an actual?
think they really could. But guys aren't just trading their best offensive and defensive linemen.
So what you're saying is that the Seahawks don't actually have a chance to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, there's always a chance.
No, don't.
There's always a chance.
Don't do that. Like,
There's always a
come
chance.
on, man. Don't.
I'm
No,
saying
no.
if
This- Eli Manning is not walking through that door and putting on the green and white and blue. It's not gonna happen, bro.
that's fine. Hey, that's fine, bro. I don't know. I don't know who's improved. I don't know who hasn't.
You
But
can't.
I'm just saying history leads me to believe that Seattle will be bad in the trenches. History leads me to believe that that's what will happen. However, I do believe that if by some miracle that they are good in the trenches, then that will propel Seattle to a contender.
But how are they going to get there?
Oh
You
shoot!
can't, because that's the whole thing, man. Like y'all got skill dudes, but okay, you want to get better in the trenches, then trade DK Metcalf. Then go ahead and trade. But that's my point, bro. Is like you have the only way that you can improve your offensive or defensive line is to get rid of either a skill position dudes or give up your entire draft stock until the year 2090.
Hey.
Also, shout out to Mario. Mario says,
hey, listen, hey, look, hey, listen. I'm just saying, cause, and then there's free agency, there's the draft. Guys get better, guys improve.
This year, bro. This year.
I'm talking about this year. We just got caught up. Hey, I mean, you can draft guys and improve from one year to the next. You can sign a few free agents that we did and improve from one year to the next. Am I banking on that? No.
So
but I do. All I'm saying is that if that position was better, then we would be a contender. Right now, it's not. That's true. It's not.
I know. Oh my god. All right. So
you're gonna give yourself a headache. You gotta chill.
You're giving me a headache, bro.
Hey, you gotta chill, bro.
No, honestly, having people on my podcast is the biggest therapeutic thing for me because I get to talk to an actual person instead of just me yelling at myself. Because I do that internally all the damn time. Moving on. Ah, damn it. Which one button?
Before we move on, I will just say this.
I run this show.
That's cool. That's cool. And I'm gonna tell you to pause right quick. But realistic regular season win and loss total for Seattle 11-6. That's what I'm calling. 11-6.
No.
11-6.
Bro, I was about to throw. I was so close to throwing my against the window. 11-6.
Why is that so bad?
So I understand. One, you're a fan. Two, the NFC is largely, when you compare the AFC to the AFC is a monster, right? Like we know that. 11-6.
Yeah. We just went 9-8. It ain't like 11. It ain't like 11-6.
All right, so you went 9. All right. So what about the Steelers then? If we're, to me, comparable. What do you think about the Steelers?
Winning season.
Oh, you are limping in winning season 9-8.
9-8.
9-8.
9-8. 10-7. 10-7.
I'll do this right now. All right. So Seattle. Nope.
I actually have a bet. I actually have a bet with one of my coworkers that Seattle would have a better season than the Steelers. It's funny you mentioned the Steelers.
Because I don't. So winning percentage to me doesn't really matter. But let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Make the playoffs. The Seahawks.
Yes.
Make the playoffs. Are 100%. You willing to bet $500 right now
that Seattle would make the playoffs? I don't bet large amounts of money like that. There's a lot of things that go. If you give me healthy, if Seattle's healthy, then yes, I would.
Tell you what, if they don't make the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, I will cover your health coverage insurance.
I got Blue Cross Blue Shield, bro. I need that.
So $19 is coming your way.
Hey, nah, but real talk though, I would bet on Seattle making the playoffs. I would.
You really think that?
Absolutely. This notion that we are just this bad team, that we just are at the bottom. They're not bad. 9-8. A couple of tweaks. 2 more wins is not the worst. Like, it's not that out of the realm. It ain't like I said the Panthers would win 11 games.
Bro,
the Seahawks winning 9 games the last 2.
11 games
going from 9 wins to 11 wins is not that huge of a reasonable leap.
The thing that I always do this because people always again label me as a bad Bills fan.
Mm-hmm.
Is you have to understand the playoff construct.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely.
For me, so if the divisions are done, right? Mm-hmm. If the Bills, to me, and I've said this beforehand, if the Bills don't win the AFC East, they are not making the playoffs. Like that's just not going to happen to me personally. So what you're saying with Seattle, it's they do have an ability to make the playoffs because I think that most of us.
I do agree the 49ers will most likely win that division.
Right.
For sure.
So most people think the 49ers will. So you take the division rounds out of it, and there's 3 other spots. Okay, so if you think Detroit's going to make the playoffs, then Green Bay, vice versa. The Rams, they could sneak in as well. Like there's to me, just saying definitively that they're going to be a playoff team is once you get the division winners out, there's only 3 spots left. So to me, if Seattle makes the playoffs, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, but I'm not certain enough to say I know that they would.
Hey, that's understandable. I got faith. Hey,
that's all you got.
I got faith in I got faith in my guy McDonald, bro.
Bro, I'm trying to be the new Skip Bayless. I'm trying to get fired from my own house. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Now we're moving on. We're moving on to Travis Hunter.
No, Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. Oh.
Oh yeah, because I gotta do this. So Mike Tomlin has been rumored to lose his job relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't missed the playoffs in basically since he's been there.
Oh, they haven't. No, they have missed it. They just haven't had a losing season.
A losing season. Yeah, you're right. So since I live in Alaska and I live with a lot of simple-minded people, they
What's that song? What's the song? Who sang that song? I'm not scared of lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my!
That's Alaska. You ain't scared of lions and tigers and bears. Hell no.
This is what I want every single episode to be like. But no, there's certain people who say like he'll never be fired, which I get to a degree because they've only had 3 head coaches in the past.
It's been
900 years.
Yeah, I think it was Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. I think that's been it.
So I get it because they are the model of consistency, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. But I also understand that the simps have a pretty large influence as far as like what people do from the ownership group. Pittsburgh to me doesn't really feel like they are in that realm because it feels like they really don't give a about what y'all think about. But could you see this year if the Steelers have a down year and don't make the playoffs, that Mike Tomlin could be fired? Because we do have these situations where the old head's they've been here too long. The voices are on scale, and that's what we hear. That's what we see as far as fans are concerned. But do you think it's a good move to get rid of Tomlin if they do, or would you rather keep him? And
it's very interesting because I mean, at some point, you have to change. At some point, even we just got rid of Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a legend in Seattle. He's a huge figure, and at some point, you gotta let it go. Like Pete Carroll, Andy Reid, Tom Landry,
Jimmy Johnson.
Now I'm talking about guys who were like coaches for like a very, very long time.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, it take like at some point, they all get rid. You get rid of them all at some point. So, and I think if Seattle, and then you would think winning a Super Bowl. And who's another one? John Harbaugh is another one. But you would think he won a Super Bowl, but I don't know if they've even been to the championship game since their last Super Bowl. I don't know if they've been to the NFC title game since the last Super Bowl they were in.
That's a good.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that for certain. I feel like
I don't either,
but they may have.
I don't either, but
do I think
they should fire? Do I think they should fire him? I mean, I got to see how the season plays out, but if you're gonna do it, make sure you're ready to replace him.
Right. So that's
the
always
the Steelers aren't an organization that's meant for a rebuild.
No.
Like, they're used to always being in the thick of things. They're used to always competing. If Mike Tomlin gets fired, he's going to get a job immediately if he wants one.
That was okay. So that was another thing that was brought up because I mentioned this on the podcast page of, is Mike Tomlin on the hot seat of getting fired? And I was immediately met with, he's going to get a job right away. But there was this dude called Bill Belichick, who is arguably the best coach ever and didn't get any offers. So are you 100% certain that he would get? To me,
and he's a lot younger than Bill Belichick.
Bill
Belichick is also the oldest coach in the league. And I think it's different because you can put whoever on the Steelers. Mike Tomlin is going to turn that into a winning football team somehow. Somehow they're going to be a decent winning football team. The Patriots and Bill Belichick's history has shown that Tom Brady, you're the GOAT. But without Tom Brady, you only win about 40% of your games.
Well, that's
about 40, 45% of your games.
To be
my God.
Yeah. No, I know. I understand that.
I actually got to get my charger right quick. I'm just to go on pause.
Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on my laptop, but I forgot my charger upstairs.
All right, man. I'll filibuster.
Yeah, 1 second.
No, you're good, man. But there is always the dynamic of who's better, Bill Belichick or Tom Brady, who made who. And speaking of this construct is we still really don't know. And what Jay was saying beforehand was his winning percentage without Tom Brady is X, and with him is exponentially better. But when you have his head coaching career before Brady was actually pretty minimal, it wasn't a huge sample size. The sample size of them together was really crazy, right? It was decades long. It was multiple Super Bowls. So for somebody to say to me that Tom Brady is the reason why he won Super Bowls, or the reason why Bill Belichick is trash because Brady won a Super Bowl based off of 1 year in Tampa and then retired, to me, that seems a little bit disingenuous. Again, I'm a Bills fan. So me not doing everything the way that you want me to do it is not really my issue. I'm trying to filibuster so much. I'm trying to do it so much. I have no idea when Jay's gonna be back. But I do have this theory of Tom. If you're gonna put me in a box, and who's the better at their job position, basically, quarterback or coach, quarterback or coach, I would say Tom Brady is better at playing quarterback than Bill Belichick is at coaching. And it's not even just necessarily the fact of the rings. Rings culture to me doesn't really matter. It has something to do with things. So Robert Ory has more rings than Michael Jordan. Do we really say that he's better than Michael Jordan? No. So those types of things to me need to stop. It's just an asinine thought process, asinine thing for us to just dumb it down to that Neanderthal process. But when it comes to Bill Belichick, what we're talking about right now is the greatest coach of all time. And I have mentioned maybe he's not, maybe he is. The old heads will say, well, obviously it's Don Shula because he has the most wins. Or
what up? My bad.
Of course it's your bad, man. I've been talking to myself for 2 minutes. I look like an idiot, and I will in the streets. Nah, I'm just playing. You're good, man.
Hey, man. Hey. Ooh. I had to pee too. God damn.
Yeah. Dude, you could have just told me and I could have paid some bills.
Nah, I did have to get my charger, but I had to pee too.
I know, but I'm saying if you needed a minute of your time, I have a sponsor. I could have just done that.
I thought you were doing that.
Because I didn't know, bro.
I said I'm gonna go get my charger and I'm gonna come back. I figured that's what you would have did.
No, you know what? Fine, right now. Now, with this being primarily a sports podcast, we understand that hydration and energy are both very important, not just for pro athletes, but for pro podcasters like your boy over here. That is why DUBBY.GG, that's right, Dubby, has linked up with Chop It Up with P. Scott to give you a 10% off your online order using promo code P. Scott. They've got swag bags and shakers, energy drinks and hydration supplements, and everything in between. My wife loves the pine berry splash flavor. I'm more of a watermelonada guy, but you really can't go wrong with either. They're rich in vitamins B6, 7, 12, vitamin C, and other vitamins and minerals to make you be the best version of yourself. Once again, visit www.dubby.gg. Use promo code PSCOT for 10% off your purchase. Y'all know the drill. Stay up, stay blessed. Let's get back into the episode. I hate the fact that I'm wearing the exact same outfit that I did for that live read as I'm wearing right now. Actually, no, I'm not. It was an Under Armour. This is my wife's softball shirt for me. So before we move on to the next thing, yes or no, if the Steelers don't make the playoffs, is Mike Tomlin going to be fired? Do you think yes or no? Because I think if they don't, that he is.
Yes, I do. I think he's fired.
Woo!
I think they'll fire him because it was pretty much just even same thing happened with Pete Carroll.
Damn, that was rude. But you align with me, so let's go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I know, right? So, Travis Hunter, what is your expectation for him as far as one, playing both sides of the ball? Do you think that he'll pick one side over the other? What's kind of your perspective on his NFL career? Because obviously he's awesome at both. But as far as your perspective, where would you like to see him go?
Seattle, but I ain't gonna lie.
As what though? Because you think that DJ Lock retire soon, you want to have him and like what?
I want him to play both.
So you want to play both consistently?
I would like to see it, but realistically, he's not going to play both full time. In my opinion, I think the best thing for him would be to play DB full time and play receiver part time. I think that would be, if you could get him if you play him on defense 90% of the time and you play him on offense maybe 20, 25, 30% of the time, I think you can get the most out of him both ways. I think that's the fairest thing to do. Because I don't think you could play because you're not going to play receiver full time and play corner part time. I think that's weird.
But you're asking him to play corner full time and wide receiver part time.
I know. I know, but because God damn it, stupid fly was all in my way.
Don't bother me.
Yeah, don't bother me. But I just think that's the best way to maximize. I just think that's the best way to maximize them without burning them out too much. But I've always said that let special guys be special. So I don't think you should draft him if you don't have an idea of how to use him on both sides of the ball. Drafting him to just be a receiver or to just be a corner is a disservice to his ability.
So the way that I've approached this is, I understand where you're coming from, but for me, it is, if you want him to play wide receiver, draft him as a wide receiver. If you want to play corner, play him as a corner because I'm cross pollinating, but like Debo Samuel, when he got his money and Jimmy Garoppolo was his quarterback, my thought was that is a terrible waste of money because he doesn't want to play running back anymore, right? Like he wants to be a wide receiver. And if you're going to pay him as a top flight wide receiver, but not utilize him as what he is, which is a football player, right? To me, he's not a great wide receiver. I would never pay. I've said this multiple times, and people give me like all kinds of shit when I say that Debo Samuel is not a top flight wide receiver because he's not. He's a top flight football player, but not wide receiver. So if you had a great quarterback, I could understand the contract. And the same thing that we're doing right now with Travis Hunter. And I thought about this the other day when I was going to work was if I was a team, and obviously we don't really know where the middle of the pack of the NFL draft is going to go, right? We know that the Panthers, Patriots, the Giants, those guys are going to be cheeks, and we know who's going to be awesome, right? But the middle of it, we're kind of wondering how, like, where's it going to fall? And I thought about this the other day going to work was if I had a true number one wide receiver and I had a true corner, I would absolutely pick Travis Hunter in the first round because at that point in time, for me, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion because most of what I say is, but I'm also right. Goddamn, most of the time. I would say if you've got one bona fide wide receiver, one bona fide corner, and instead of doing the gimmick of, well, maybe he'll play wide receiver, maybe he'll play cornerback, is know that he's going to be your third wide receiver. Know that he's going to be your nickel or dime cornerback. Know that going forward. And instead of him playing 130 snaps a game, just know this is your position on one side. This is your position on the other side. And we can maximize how absolutely ridiculous you are as an athlete. But you can't, to me, I don't think it's great to put him in a box of just play wide receiver. And then we have a package for defensive back or just be a defensive back and have a package for you as wide receiver. To me, I was like, if you know you're going to be the third or fourth best at whatever, I would still spend a first round draft pick on you. But I need to know that my game plan is not predicated upon you being awesome at both when I know that you are. But it just, I don't need to overthink it at that point in time, right?
Hey, I mean, like I said, you think Travis Hunter would be the third best receiver on a team?
It depends. Again, it depends on where you're picking, right? So, like, if you're going to a play, let's just say hypothetically that the Bengals have a top 5 pick, they are not going to pick him for wide receiver. That's what I'm saying. If you already have a really good wide receiving core, or like one like really top flight wide receiver and one really top flight corner, I have no problem with him being picked in, the first 15 or 16. But doesn't it seem odd to you if you want to put him in a box when he doesn't even know right now? He doesn't even know if he wants to play wide receiver corner. I'm not drafting him to be my number one wide receiver. I'm not drafting him to be my number one corner, but I absolutely am drafting him to be a third best on both sides of the ball because I know he has the skills for it. But I'm not going to make him my top wide receiver. Absolutely not. I'm not going to make him my top corner. Absolutely not. The dude plays. He's also not. he needs to not play both sides of the ball all the time. For me, do you think that he should play both sides all the time? Because to me, that feels like it's an absolute waste of his talent.
It's not a waste of his talent, but I do think it. But I do think you could. That's a way to that you're increasing your chances to get hurt because
Well,
that's just so
that's
that's
what I
so
mean.
much
Like,
that's so much
I
wear
can
and tear. That's so much wear and tear. But
right.
I don't think you're gonna draft him and see the talent that he has on both sides and not use him on both sides.
But that's my point though.
I don't think that a coach is gonna do. I don't think that a coach is gonna do that because I've always said you gotta let, some guys are just different. Like, there's some guys, okay, he's a running back. Okay, he's a quarterback. He's a corner. He's a safety, whatever. Some guys are just like that. But there are some guys, bro, they're very rare. But there are some guys like, yo, I'm just gonna put you in the game. I want you on the field.
So I understand that because I do like if
I don't
I
think
could have Travis Hunter on my football team, I would absolutely want to have that happen. But what I'm getting at is I feel like most coaches want to over analyze things where we know that Travis Hunter is a great athlete. We know this. Where can we fit him? As opposed to this dude's awesome at this thing. Let's make him do this. And I think that for him, he needs to not understand, but he needs to he needs to make the decision of, am I going to play corner? Am I going to play wide receiver? And that is where he's ultimately going to land. And again, for me, when I look at my team, let's just say, we don't have Keon Coleman we have no idea because he's never played a down in the NFL. But we don't have a great wide receiver. We don't have a great corner. Besides Rasul Douglas.
That's not a great corner.
Kyrie Elam has been, a disappointment.
I like that guy Christian Benford though.
Huh?
I like that guy. Was it Christian Benford?
Oh, Christian Benford. No, Benford's doing. And also, I'm so tired of people sleeping on Teron Johnson.
Oh, that's a nickel.
Yeah, he's pretty
good.
No, he's awesome. Yeah. But the thing for me is like if you need a true wide receiver, for me, and I could be completely wrong on this, but if you need a top 5 wide receiver when you're drafting next year, I would not draft Travis Hunter. If you need a top 5 corner, I wouldn't draft him either because we have not seen that he's put in. We don't know what he wants to do. And that's enough uncertainty for me where I wouldn't draft him in the top 5. But if I have a first round draft pick and I'm in the mid range, I am absolutely drafting that dude. But I need to know that I know that he's not going to be my number 1 receiver. I know he's not going to be my number 1 corner. He is going to be a number 3 wide receiver or a nickel back or a dime back. Those things, as long as I know that and I'm not putting these like gimmick things together for him, I'm absolutely willing to put a first round draft pick on him. Now, if he's not willing to do that, I'm waiting till the 3rd or 4th round because if you're going to put it at that point in time, if you know what you're going to do, all right, then I can work around that. But I need to know what you're going to do. And if you're not willing to go back and forth or you're not willing to commit to one thing or the other, I personally am willing to put that stock into you as an athlete, but you are not going to be the bona fide, at the focal point of my offense or defense.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't think there's any way, unless he gets hurt, I don't think there's any way he drops past 10. I don't think there's any way remotely he's gonna go past 10. in this
Well,
draft.
that's the other thing too. You're right. In this draft class, I think you're right. I don't think he drops
I think if
past.
this was, I think if this was last year's draft class, same thing. I don't think he drops past 10.
Really?
I don't think he, I don't think he goes past 10, assuming he's healthy. If he gets hurt, then that's another thing. But if he's healthy, I don't think there's any way he
So
goes
you really,
past 10.
so you thought even this year he would have been a top 10 pick?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, but I think according to what he said, Travis Hunter, he said that he's gonna play what a team drafts him to play. I don't. I think he
I
that's what he said. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I think when it comes, but I think it's going to change when the season's over and you start having these workouts, you start having these combines. Are you going to work out with both positions or like what are you like what are you going to do? That's going to be where it gets interesting for me. Because it's all cool now because you're in college, you're playing both. You're going to do, what I'm saying? You're going to do great things, but oh, here's another nugget I just thought of. You remember Jabril Peppers?
yeah,
He's still a pretty good. He's a decent
he's good.
he's a decent safety. But he was like that. He was like that kind of that guy who was like doing a lot of everything. You know, running the ball, kick return, playing defense. Like he was playing both ways as well. And I think, and I kind of wish that I think it was the Browns that drafted him. I think it was the Browns.
Hmm. I think so. I know
I think it was the Browns.
he's played for the Giants, and I don't think they drafted him. I think that
No,
it
it was
was
the
he
Browns.
was
It was the
Cleveland.
Browns.
Yeah.
It was the Browns. I do kind of wish like I feel like if a guy has exceptional ability, I feel like sometimes, especially if he did certain things in college, I think sometimes you have to like you should let him do something on the other side of the ball. Try to get the most that you can. Try to get the most that you can out of him because right now he's just like he's okay. But if you let him have the ball in his hands, maybe he could show you how dynamic he really is.
Well, that's always been one of my when I look because again, I'm not a very big college football fan. I don't follow it that closely. I'm more of an NFL guy. But when it comes to things that you're mentioning, I'm not opposed again, I'm not opposed to having somebody who has the the skill set of doing both things, right? Playing wide receiver, playing cornerback or whatever, offensive lineman, defensive whatever. But I do feel like if I'm drafting you to do a certain thing, I need to know that you are great at that thing. You can be great at multiple things, but what are you invested in? So with me,
No,
again,
that's fair.
so
No,
so
that's
for me,
fair.
like when it comes to Travis Hunter, is if he's willing to go, I'm a wide receiver, and if I'm in that spot, I'll take him. If I need a corner, I'll take him. But if I just need an athlete, if I need to out athlete you, I'm not going to build packages for you. I need to know that you're going to be my second or third wide receiver. You're going to be my nickel or dime back, whatever. I don't need to predicate everything around you for maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I'm okay with taking you in the top 15, 20 if you're okay with playing 20 snaps on one side of the ball and 20 snaps on the other, as opposed to saying maybe I will, maybe I won't. Because if you're going to tell me maybe I will, maybe I won't, I'm not wasting a first round draft pick on him.
I think from what I've seen, he's a great kid. He's the type of kid you would want on your football team.
Oh, for sure.
I think regardless of what you do with him, he's not going to be a waste of a draft pick.
No,
I think the
so
dude has star written all over him.
So me saying that a wasted draft pick, no. Would I want Travis Hunter on my football team if I were the GM? Yes, absolutely. But I'm saying would I spend a first round pick if he's not willing to commit to the thing for me, again, if he wants to be a wide receiver solely, I'm not I'm probably not taking him in the first round. Same thing with the corner. I'm probably not doing that. If he's willing to do 20 plays each side, I'm willing to I'm willing to spend a first round draft pick on him. But if he wants to be the number one wide receiver, I don't know if I have a top 5 on each side. I don't know if I would do that though.
You don't think you would spend a first round pick on him as a receiver or a corner?
No, depending. Again, depending on what's going on. So I'm a Bills fan. Let's just pretend that I'm the Buffalo Bills owner, the GM. I'm the person making the decision. If he says I want to be a first round wide receiver pick, if I'm picking in the late round, maybe. If he says I want to be a corner, late round, absolutely. The thing with the Bills is, even though I hate how much Josh Allen is hyped up, I understand that they're going to be good because of him. So they're going to be in the mid round to late round. They're not going to be in the top 4 to 8 picks. So if it's a late round pick and he says I want to be a corner and you can use me as a wide receiver, first round draft pick, goddamn right, I'm doing that right there. But if he says I want to be a wide receiver and play corner, I'm not willing to do that, man.
Hey,
with the way the Bills are currently constructed. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it if everything was like a fantasy draft. I'm saying the way the Bills are currently constructed, I wouldn't do it then. But if he wants to be a corner and play wide receiver every once in a while, yeah, dog, we are good. But if he wants to be my number 1 wide receiver and then play corner, I need a corner. My corners are trash. Rasul Douglas is like 30 years old. I need somebody different. So it depends on what he says he wants to do for me. But generally speaking, yeah, I would love to have Travis Hunter. But make your decision, bro. And depending on what your decision is, I have to go off of that, man.
Fair enough. All right. What we on next? Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk. Good idea, bad idea. I think it was
to re-sign him?
Yeah. Oh no, well, no. I just mean, do you think it makes sense? Because so for me, Brandon Ayuk was wanting extension for a long time, and apparently, and I have no idea if there's any truth to this or not, but apparently what he signed for was the exact thing that they offered him 4 months ago.
You said they didn't have any.
Except for what?
I got a little distracted. I'm sorry.
Thank you, man. But yeah, so it seemed like what Brandon Ayuk signed for was supposed to be the thing they offered him 3 or 4 months ago, and he didn't want that.
Hey, I mean, I'm surprised he still had that. If that's true, I'm surprised he still had that contract on the table.
Well, yeah, because teams usually don't do that. They're like, "This is our offer. You can have it, and if you don't, then we're good."
Yeah, everything was kind of like lining up for them to like get rid of him because why would you draft Ricky Pearsall in the first round if you weren't going to? That would
happen too, man.
Yeah, it's sad what happened to him, but at least he's alive. He's stable.
I'm glad that he's still good though.
I wonder if he's going to try to play this year.
I mean,
I know he's going to start off on IR for sure. So, but
it seems kind of insensitive to talk about him playing him when he's going to, but from what I've heard, he's in stable condition, so he's probably not going to play the first 2 months. Dude, if I got shot, I would miss 2 months of work easily. Like,
for sure.
I don't feel like it's necessary for us to put it in that.
For sure.
Context,
but them drafting him did let me think like, okay, they're probably gonna get rid of Brandon Ayuk, or they're gonna trade him, because if you're gonna trade him, you should trade him now.
Well, the thing is that they already that up, because if you were going to trade him, you should have traded him
You should have
You
traded
know,
him during the draft.
right? Exactly.
That's
Like
what you should have. That's what you should have
they
traded him.
already messed that up.
And apparently they and this is one thing I hate about not the Niners, but most teams like they don't want to pay you like your talent, but they want your level of talent compensation.
Exactly.
And I'm like, come on, like don't like, come on, you don't think he's worth the money? Fine, all right, trade him. All right, but you want an arm and a leg for him, so obviously he's worth the money. And here's another thing about Brandon Ayuk that I think Brandon Ayuk is probably the most underrated receiver, one of them at least, because he plays in an offense where he's not going to get the same amount of looks that JJ or Chase or Amon-Ra St. Brown, those guys get. I think Brandon Ayuk only had 105 targets. And if we're being realistic, we can probably cut 10 or 15 of them off because some of those are probably throwaways, which still count as targets
Right. Yeah.
here.
Exactly.
So we can probably take about 10 or 15 of those off. So he caught 70 plus balls last year, and he probably only had 85 catchable targets, which is insane to think about. You know what I'm saying? So I think if he would have went to a pass happy offense, Brandon Ayuk is probably first team all pro. He's in that discussion. He's in that discussion.
Well, there's definitely the opportunity for it, and that's kind of one of the things that I've made very clear here is that when you are, because the talent in professional sports is ridiculous, you know. So when
It
you
definitely is.
see, yeah, so when you see a top flight wide receiver go down, you see the number 3 or 4 wide receiver all of a sudden become a commodity in the NBA. When you see John Morant go down for whoever it is, like when you see the primary ball handler, D'Angelo Russell was a dude who we thought was good, then trash, then good, then trash, then good. If you have the opportunity to run your game, you have the opportunity to make more money and you have the opportunity to pad your stats. So I have the exact, I don't necessarily think that Brandon Ayuk is in that particular realm because I do think that he's good. But
Yeah.
if he had gone someplace else, so the biggest the biggest target was Pittsburgh. So if he went to Pittsburgh, we think that Pickens is awesome. We think that Ayuk is awesome, but we think that the quarterbacks are both cheeks. So
I'm
again,
not going to tolerate Russell Wilson slander, but go on.
ooh, I know.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm,
But
I'm going to be respectful. I don't want to be. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to be so respectful. The
I'm
most
gonna be so respectful that most people will see I'm the most respectful.
I'm the most respectful, Jay. You don't even know I'm the most respectful.
Nah, but their quarterback, but realistically speaking, their quarterback situation is at the best it's shaky right now.
Oh,
At
Pittsburgh,
best,
yeah, dude.
yeah, at best it's shaky.
We'll
But
see, and that's why I didn't.
maybe Russell just shut off a few years and go back to 2020. Maybe.
Dude, that's the whole thing, man. Like this, dude, this mother.
I don't
Like,
think he's gonna do that. But
no, he's what
especially
36, 37 years old. And I think that people don't understand.
34.
But the thing is, like, so this is the way that I've looked at the timeline for Russell Wilson.
Russ and Gino are the same age. That's crazy.
What was that?
Russ and Gino are the same age.
No, they're both 37.
They're 34.
No, that's not accurate.
Let me make sure because I know Geno Smith. Okay, Geno Smith turns 34 in October.
Really?
And Russell Wilson.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong. I am wrong. Okay. They're 1 year apart. Geno turns 34. Russ is 35 right now.
So when you said that, it's wild to me because, like,
I thought they were the same. I'm thinking, ain't they both 34?
So to be fair,
Russ is 35.
I didn't think that they were so far apart where it couldn't be realistic. But what irritates the absolute out of me is I know that this is accurate, but the fact that Gronk and Travis Kelsey are the same damn age, and Gronk's been retired for basically 3 years, that irritates me every single year because I want to party with both those dudes, man.
I would.
And they
I
both.
definitely.
How is
definitely
one
would.
person being retired? Oh, it's irritating.
Hey, if you could party, if you could party with one family, are you partying with the Gronks, the Watts, or the Kelseys?
Ooh, okay. So that's that's a really good question. So the Gronks, the Kelsey, or the Watts?
Mm-hmm. TJ, Derek, and JJ. I don't know if there's more than two Kelseys.
I know there's Jason and Travis. Dude, that's a really good question, man. You got me all kinds of perplexed. I think.
Damn, why I Google Travis Kelce and the first thing that popped up is Taylor Swift? That's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
I think I would go the Kelseys, and it has zero to do with Taylor Swift. I can't stand her and her music. I want nothing to do with it. But if I'm invited to the cookout, Travis Kelsey's invited to the cookout, and I know that. So
facts.
They all seem really cool, but the Watts just seem really uptight. No,
you think the Watts seem uptight?
They seem. Dude, you don't think they seem uptight?
Nah,
really?
JJ and TJ just seems like they're all juiced up and shit. Their energy is on crazy. They're just not like this is gonna sound bad, but Travis can come off like I can see why somebody would think he's douchey.
No, and to be fair, again, I understand because he especially because of like the Taylor Swift stuff, it seems like he's more pretentious than he used to be, even though it doesn't feel like he's really changed, but because she's in his life and she is such a mega, I was going to edit myself. She's such a mega superstar where now the way that we perceive him is different because of her. But if I'm just hanging out, I think that the Kelseys would be awesome. The Watts, I feel like
let's not forget about the Gronks. There's about 5 of them.
Is there 5 of them?
There's like 5 Gronks.
Oh, 5 Gronks. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
the Gronkowski family is.
There's 3 of them made the league. Yeah. Rob, you got Glenn, you got Dan.
Oh, you know their names? I don't know. I know Rob's.
Yeah. So you got. Okay, no, it's Yeah. Damn. Rob is the youngest. He's the youngest too. Rob is the youngest of 5.
You were acting like the Jackson family. You got Tito.
So you got Rob. So you got Rob is the baby. You got Glenn. You got Dan. You got Gordy.
Who the hell is Gordy?
Gordy is the oldest one.
No, man. You would rather hang out with the Gordon's fishermen than hanging out with Travis and Jason.
Hey, I'm just saying, because Gronk is so Gronk, like I'm sure some of the Gronkness that rubbed off on the other ones. They had to.
That's a fair assessment because of the
I mean, if he's the baby, he was raised like that. So they have to be cool. They have to be cool. Gordy is their dad's name is Gordy, so he's Gordy Jr.
That's so wild, man. I never knew that. Like, so I watch a lot of Family Guy, and I've seen they do an episode where the Gronkowskis move next door to the Griffins.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but the names were never disclosed. So I never knew that Gordon was one of those things. Dude, the fact that we're still making Gordons is atrocious.
I mean, I don't think they're still making them. He's old. He's older. He's like probably 40 something.
Dude, he's our age. We're still making
Whoa,
Gordon.
don't say our. Don't say our. Don't forget you're pushing 40. I'm pushing 30. Don't do that.
Okay, that's I don't appreciate that, but you're accurate. I'm not pushing 40. I am 40.
Oh wow, even worse. Okay.
What do you mean even worse? Look at me, dog. Look at me. How old are you?
I'm 29, bro.
29. And guess what? I'm 40. I'm still gorgeous, bro.
Hey. Hey. But you're bald, so fuck it.
I'm bald because I did it on purpose, dog. All right. This is so. Hey, no, because you want to do this, I'm going to do this. The whole reason why I shaved my head is there was one person who was taller than me. Do you want a sad story or not?
Let's not get a sad story. Let's finish out this. Let's talk about Caleb Williams.
All right. Well, just know the reason why I'm bald is because I'm sad about somebody else. I will leave it at that. So, Caleb Williams. Mario said this is your last appearance.
Hey, that's my little horn.
No, is it?
But Caleb Williams.
There were other reasons why it might have been his last. So Caleb Williams, MVP.
That's wild.
I'm just look. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but could you see it happen?
But God damn it, if there's a rookie,
I'll tell you
why.
A rookie to ever do
it, if there's a rookie to do it, he can be that rookie.
To be a rookie and an MVP.
Yeah, if there's somebody who could do it, he could do it.
Then why were you so dismissive of me even bringing the question then?
Because he's not going to do it. No, fuck no. I'm saying
okay.
I'm saying if there's gonna be a rookie to do it,
bro. I am not a hatred-filled podcast. Why? Then why? You can say that he's not going to. I just need context. Why do you think he's not going to then?
I just think. I think even though he's a great talent, the rookie every rookie has those rookie mistakes. But he has a lot of talent. I mean, this is the most talent a number one overall pick has ever had. Now, will the Bears and whack ass Eberflus know what's his name? What's his name? Eberflus?
Phonetically, it's supposed to be Everflus, but apparently it's pronounced Everflus. I don't know.
Whatever his name is.
It's never Flus because they'll never win anything.
Yeah. I'm kind of, and I know Caleb is better than Justin Fields, but I was a little salty that they got rid of Fields after putting Fields around a bunch of chaos, and now when you get a little bit better, you just want to throw him in the trash.
Yo, you said a little bit better.
The Bears got a little bit.
Exponentially better.
No, I'm talking about last season. No, not this offseason. I'm talking about last season. Like last season, they got a little bit better. And like things were looking.
The record, yes, but the roster not so much. It was this offseason.
I was talking about their record. Yeah, they got way better this year. No.
Yeah.
I'm talking about last year, like the way they played record wise. They got once their record like increased a little bit, I was like, damn, now they didn't put Justin Fields around all this mess. And when they finally win a little bit, now they about to get rid of him. I was a little salty, but I understood. I understood it. But I was a little salty.
This has always been my point when I use the term simp way too much.
Yes, you do.
But I'm not inaccurate when I say it. The Sims are telling me like, oh, Justin Fields isn't good. He may not be the guy that you thought that he was, but the fact that they have absolutely dumped all the resources that they could into Chicago now and bailed on Justin Fields. I don't think that Justin Fields is, we talked about overrated, right, with Josh Allen. I feel like Justin Fields is underrated. It doesn't mean that I think that he's awesome. It doesn't mean that I think that he is going to be the next quarterback to lead this generation. But there is a certain point of we talked about it was like with Tua, right?
Yeah.
Flores made it very clear that he wanted nothing to do with Tua.
Mm-hmm.
He even had a closer. He had Ryan Fitzpatrick come in close games. He had a starter and a closer.
Mm-hmm.
Once he was done, McDaniel came in and said, "You're my dude. I believe in you. I want you." Justin Fields hasn't ever had that. And being in Pittsburgh doesn't mean that he finally has it all of a sudden, but there's at least pieces there. And I'm not saying this dude's going to light the world on fire and he's going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. I mean, he could be because, Tyler Huntley made a Pro Bowl 2 years ago because he was an 11th place runner-up.
Yeah, no bullshit.
The Pro Bowl thing is just absolutely it doesn't mean anything more. But I do think that Justin Fields still, I'm going to give him 2 more years where I'm still going to cape up for him. After 2 years, I may have to just
after 2 years, bro. You might as well be Taysom Hill, my guy.
Might as well do what? I'm sorry?
After 2 years, he might as well be Taysom Hill.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
No, I'm saying if he's not like a starter in the league in 2 years,
no, but
then you might as well transit. Then you might as well do something else.
But Taysom Hill didn't start doing that until he was basically 30, and Justin Fields was like 23 or 24.
Taysom Hill was doing that as soon as he got in the league.
No, he wasn't.
He just wasn't getting that many reps. He was on special teams. He started off on special. He started off on special teams.
No, here's the deal with Taysom Hill. Nobody knew who he was until he was a flex player in fantasy.
I knew.
Get out of here! No, you did. You didn't know who.
First of all, dude.
No,
dude.
Taysom Hill hasn't been relevant until the last 3 years.
Hey, if y'all don't pay attention, y'all just don't pay attention.
It's only because of fantasy, because he could play quarterback, he could play wide receiver, he could play tight end. But now that fantasy has made it, no, this is what you are. You don't get to be a flex. Nobody wants him because he's a football player, but he is not relevant to anything that you actually really need.
Taysom Hill was a special teams player on the Saints, 2017, 2018, rushing receiver, 2018. That's when he started getting snaps.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go ahead and pull up Taysom Hill stats, man.
Oh, I'm already here.
He was not relevant until he could be played as a flex in fantasy 3 years ago.
So
nobody cared about Taysom Hill. They still don't. They only care about what they bring to either DraftKings or fantasy lineup. Nobody thinks that Taysom Hill is a good quarterback, a good wide receiver, a good tight end, a good running back. You're just a football player, which is fine. And I want football players too. But nobody is actually thinking that he is good at all, elite especially, at anything that he does. You are a jack of all trades, but you're not elite at God anything.
It needs to be.
Stop that.
I didn't say he was elite. But what I'm saying is, I think if he's not a starting quarterback eventually, and you still want to be in the NFL, then you should do more things. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying that?
There's so Bro, the thing for me is that I have no problem with that.
So what are you disagreeing with me about?
I disagree with the fact that you brought up Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is nothing. He's nothing. He's essentially wasting a roster spot. At this point in time in his career, he's wasting a roster spot. Dude, he's over 30 years old. He's not good at anything. He's not, I shouldn't say that. He's not great, dude, but he's
be great at everything.
No, he's not even good at everything. He's capable. Bro, if you line me up with the New Orleans Saints, I could run you a dig route. I could line up in the backfield. Dude, he's not, especially the money he was getting paid, dude. They were paying him just exorbitant amount of money.
His money was tied to him playing quarterback, though. His contract was weird.
It was stupid.
It was a very strange contract. But I fuck with Taysom.
No, so
I fuck with Taysom.
But so again, I know the fact that he's good at football. We had this conversation about other people earlier on. I don't have a problem with him as a football player. I have a problem with paying him as a specific player that you think you're going to use and you're not going to because he's not good enough. Because they were using him as a quarterback. I would never, ever, 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 ever pay Taysom Hill $20+ million a year to play quarterback or wide receiver or tight end or anything else. But he's not good enough at all of those things for me to pay him $20 million a year just in general. He's just not.
I wonder what he made last year.
You should do.
I'm about to look that up right now because
you should go ahead. Go ahead and look up Taysom Hill's salary. It's pretty egregious.
No, it's not. Now I'm looking at. I'm looking right now.
Okay, I know you are.
His extension. His extension.
What was his annual? Let me ask you a question. What was his annual salary for the last 3 years?
$10 million.
$10 million every year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a 4-year, $40 million contract extension in 2021.
Okay, so now let's look at his stats.
Yeah.
Would you pay $10+ million a year for somebody who averages
would I pay for him? Yes. I would use him more. I would use him more than he's been used.
For that money, though?
Absolutely. If I would pay, absolutely.
No, man.
But last year.
So let me.
81 carries.
So hold up. Is this last year or tell you what? Over the last 3 years, how many total carries has Taysom Hill had?
All right, since 2021, how many total carries? 247.
So 200 carries, which equates to less than 3 carries a game. How many?
Five and a half carries a game.
So how many catches?
46
over the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so less than 1 per game. Awesome. How about his passing yards, passing attempts? I'm not paying Taysom Hill, dude. That's crazy.
Passing attempts, 164.
Over 3 years? Dude, quarterbacks throw 164 pass attempts in 4 games now. This is my thing. I'm tired of people gassing up Taysom Hill. He does.
I don't think anybody gasses. I don't think anybody gasses him.
Bro, you just said you'd pay him $10 million.
I would use him more. Those stats would be up if I had the ability to use him more. That's what I'm saying. Now, based on what he's produced, no, he's not worth that. But I would use him more. That's me. That's me. That's me. I know one thing. Wait. Well, I could ask you this in a minute. I could ask you this in a minute. But I would use him more. And I know one thing. He torched the hell out of us. Taysom Hill drug his nuts across us.
Bro, we had this exact same conversation with Ronnie Brown with the Dolphins against the Patriots 22 years ago.
Hey, you give him the ball, he can make shit happen.
Well,
hey, I was still mad at that.
Because that dude's 32 and is not great at anything. Dude, he's not elite. Again,
I didn't say he was elite.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm not saying that you. I'm not saying that you said he was elite, but I am saying this dude is not anything. I'm not paying you $10 to $15 million a year to be just somebody who I use in certain circumstances.
That's fair. No, that is fair. I agree. That's fair. I'm just saying if I had him and I was paying him, I would use him more. Those numbers would be better. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, the numbers would be better, but okay, so you got me all kinds of riled up. So before, because I really don't, man. I really don't like to be this emotionally invested in sports because I think
it's just me. I think it's just me, man. I think I
do
this to you.
No. It's not you. It's the fact that when I do episodes by myself, I'm usually pretty reserved. You know, it's just me talking to whoever's listening. But when I have somebody to talk to, I'm like, no, we are going to go to war right now. but I understand with Taysom, he's a polarizing figure just because of what I mentioned as far as the fantasy things are concerned. I don't think he's a bad football player. Again, I would love to have him on my team. I would, but I'm not paying him anywhere close to $15 million a year to play 42 snaps on both sides of the ball. I'm just not gonna do it.
Like I said, I agree with you. That's fair. If I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna use you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use you.
Well, that is capitalism at its finest. I'm not gonna pay you, but I'm gonna use.
No, I said if I'm gonna pay you.
Okay. Yeah, I won't twist that word. I won't twist those words.
No. I said if I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna use you. Like, yeah. But hey. But I know one thing. When he comes in the game and they need a short yard, he gonna get that motherfucker.
Yeah, you will.
If it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, if it's in the goal line, hey, get it. Let Taysom get the ball. We gonna get this. He serves his he serves plenty of a purpose, and I guess everybody in the locker room and the organization loves the dude. Now I agree with you. I'm not paying. Like, I'm not gonna pay him that much money for as many touches as he gets. You don't have to pay him that much. But hey, everybody values players differently. But
it's the same thing. It's not even just about your contract. It's about everything. Because I work in the car business. It's all about what does somebody think that it is worth when they need it. What are you willing to pay based on your needs?
I would love it, man. That short, man, because it's crazy to have a guy like that who can just consistently keep moving your chains for you is crazy. But
it's and that's the thing, and that's why I talk about when we talk about quarterbacks and how I say that Josh Allen is overrated is because he doesn't move. He doesn't do the things that I believe a quarterback can do to make his team better. He wants to be like the next coming of Jesus for the Bills franchise. And that's what the Bills have been forcing down our throats because they went to 4 straight Super Bowls. lost them all, and they want to feel like they finally got it right because they've had
I mean,
49 different quarterbacks since Jim Kelly, and it's like
they
you
kind of
don't
did.
have, right, like you
Yeah,
don't,
they
but you
got-
don't
they-
have to make it. You don't have to do that. Why don't you just play better football? And now, because they shipped off Stephon Diggs, and they're saying, well, the Bills are better. They got this. They got everything lined up. No, they don't. They don't have everything lined up. This team has been a Super Bowl contender, quote unquote, for the last 3 years. And I've been telling y'all, offensive line is cheeks. They don't use their running game. And the
I was with you. You remember I was with you on that. I think we talked about that one episode. I was with you on that. Cause I said, bro, the Bills, like James Cook, I was like, yo, James Cook is nice.
but
The
that
Bills
so
don't
so
use the Bills don't
I've
use
gotten
him.
I have gotten so much over the past 3 years when I tell people the Bills have a running game, they just don't use it. They want to have Josh Allen be the dude for everything. And
Yeah,
when
you
you
don't-
do that, you're not going to be as successful as you need to be. And I was getting laughed at and saying, how do you have a running game but don't use it? And then the moment that they stopped using Stephon Diggs and started using James Cook, I started getting, oh man, you were right.
You can
No,
have
I'm right.
you can have a certain talent and not use
And then
it.
not utilize it.
That's in every sport. One of my prime examples in basketball, you know, Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
Cam Thomas, when he starts, he will get you 40 every game. But people be like, why don't he play? That's who knows. But when he plays, he produces. Some guys just need sometimes a coach gets told, maybe it's higher up. Maybe the coach just don't fuck with you. Whatever it is. Like
That's the whole
sometimes
reason
the
why.
coach
That's the whole
sometimes
reason
the coach
why I
won't
didn't
use
get my
you.
scholarship is because, you know, my coach didn't like me.
Politics, people try to act like, and people, you know, some of the same people in the group chats, they get mad at me when I act like politics is not a real. I try to act like politics is a thing. If football is a little different because, you know, football is only mainly in America, so all the best players are in America. Basketball, at least, you know, in Europe and China, you got guys who could be in the NBA in other countries. In football, it's not really like that. But I will say this about basketball: if you put a bunch of players in green suits and told them to just play basketball, and then they picked the 450 best players out of 1,000, the NBA would look totally different. If it was strictly based on just basketball ability and nothing else, not your relationships, not your injury history, nothing, anything, just straight basketball talent, then the league would look completely different.
I 100% agree with that.
The top guys, LeBron, Steph, you know, KD, Giannis, Embiid, Joker, Luka, those guys.
We don't talk about Giannis here.
Yeah, we do.
No,
we do.
I don't. I'll mute you right now.
Yeah, okay. That just means you're a hater, and that's okay. But anyway, but regardless of what you think about Giannis is in that top 25% of NBA players. I'm not talking about those guys. The top 25%, the top 120 guys, those are all established starting quality players. But everybody else, that shit can get washed. From guys in the G League, from guys overseas. That shit all comes down to all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's honestly what it comes down to. You think you like people try to tell me, you mean to tell me Michael Beasley can't play in the NBA right now? You're gonna look at me. You're gonna look at me and say that he can't play in the NBA right now, and we got PJ Tucker in the NBA right now.
So the thing for me is it always depends on what your expectation of can he play, because
if it's just I'm talking about just basketball,
because PJ Tucker, all he's doing is just camping out in a corner and shooting threes. If you're asking me
Yeah.
who would I rather have, I would absolutely have Michael Beasley over PJ Tucker for sure. This isn't 1980 where I need somebody to fight you in the streets.
Nah. And even
Like,
then, like Beasley tough as hell. So like
well, one there,
Beasley's tough as hell.
one there's that. I don't think that people understand. He's for the streets and he's a walking bucket. I would absolutely love. I'm not paying him, top flight money, obviously. But I would just as a roster spot,
just
hell yeah.
If we just talk just basketball,
I would much rather have Michael Beasley. Yeah, I would much rather have Michael Beasley over PJ Tucker for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But that's like I said, there's a lot of things that go into play with making a roster than just your talent. That's why guys don't play one-on-one for roster spots. Could you imagine if they did?
That's probably the most annoying thing that I see on the interwebs is just people say, well, one-on-one. Bro, nobody cares. Like, if you're a simp and just say, like, again, with me, because I overuse that term, but it's just, you can't just tell me just because you beat somebody one-on-one that you're better than them. That is not how this works. My son's 10 years old. I whoop his ass all the time in one-on-one. Like, but when he gets older, he might be able to beat me. But I'm 40. I'm a man, and every single time in the post, I'm drilling this kid. But just to think that just because you beat somebody one-on-one does not make you better than anybody else. It is quite literally.
It doesn't make you better. I agree. It doesn't make you better. But the problem is sometimes like we're conditioned in sports to think that if you practice hard, if you do good in practice, then you'll get time in the game. That is not true. That is not always true. That's not always true.
Dude, thank you. I'm so glad that you said that because all these internet keyboard warriors think that they are the best and smartest person on the planet, and they have no idea what the they're talking about and how intense these things are. And also the fact that yes, politics is something that we've grown to the fact of we'll keep politics out of sports, but it is, for lack of a better term, political, where you may not get to play more because the coach doesn't like you. The coach doesn't like your parents. Your parents like you.
There's a lot of shit that goes on.
There's a lot that goes on. So it is. But now this is different than it was back in the day, because when I was a kid in the early 2000s, that was a problem. It was problematic for you to be able to get to where you wanted to be. And I was, I guess, for lack of a better term, a victim to it. I wasn't a victim necessarily, but I had scholarships. I had things that I wanted to do. But because there wasn't just the eyeballs on me, it wasn't going to happen. Now, it's not really the same thing, but you can't get mad at kids now who are really good at what they do and have more eyeballs on them.
Yeah. It's very annoying. The one thing people say, oh, he didn't make the team just because he wasn't good enough. Sometimes that's true, but
sure,
that's not always the case. But the only reason I mentioned one-on-one is because one-on-one doesn't necessarily automatically make you better than somebody. But if I can kick this person's ass in one-on-one, if we're talking about my skill versus his skill, then I should be able to get the opportunity to play over him. If I'm kicking his ass in practice, if practice means guys who do better in practice do better in the game, like should play in the game more. If I'm kicking your ass in practice, I should be rewarded. Like that's why I mentioned one-on-one. If I, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Peyton Pritchard could beat Drew Holiday one-on-one, but he's not going to play over him. But I would think if Peyton Pritchard keeps on beating Drew Holiday, I would give Peyton Pritchard more minutes.
But that's not going to happen.
That's just a random example.
Right.
I'm not
No,
like
I know what you mean, man.
yeah, like if you can keep dominating practice, you deserve minutes. You deserve a chance to show that you can do that consistently in a game. But like I said, there's roles, there's relationships, there's all type of things that go into play when making a roster, but except for those 25% of people, except for those top tier people. Everything else can be changed, could be changed if, you never know. Yeah.
And that's exactly why Jason Tatum got no run in the Olympics. You got so before we get out of here, do you have anything that you want to add? Any topics or
Well, it's week 1, so I just want to you know, I just want to get these picks out the way.
so we're so close, bro.
Week 1 is Wednesday, so I got the schedule right here. So you tell me who you got, and we'll go down the list of games, and then we'll exit out of here.
Oh, what the hell, man? So all right, so we're
I
doing
got it pulled up. I got it pulled up right here.
I know, but I don't have it pulled up. That's rude. All right, so we're doing week 1
Just
NFL
yeah,
games.
yeah. So who you got? Baltimore at Kansas City. Who you got?
Oh damn, man! I thought it was all right. So it's all right. Well, let me go and hold up. I need to get my interview music going on. There we go. All right, so we're doing basically P. Scott's picks early because you blindsided me, and I appreciate that. Also, you're a jerk. So it is. So it's Baltimore at Kansas City.
Yeah, that's opening night.
So we're doing straight up, no point spreads, anything like that.
I don't have the spread pulled up, but we can just do straight up because it's week 1, so I don't think the spread really means that much right now.
I feel because I'm with you. I feel like most of these things are gonna be close. Like if you got a trash team versus like it's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Baltimore week 1.
You're going Baltimore? I mean, fair enough. I think Kansas City week 1 at home. I don't see them losing a home opener.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
I don't see them losing a home opener. And Kansas City has always had Derrick Henry's number, surprisingly.
Yeah, but also Derrick Henry is now playing in an offense that has players. He's been he's been the only.
He has a better quarterback for sure, but I mean,
and wide receivers and offensive.
Not really. He played with AJ Brown. He played with AJ Brown,
bro. He had AJ Brown for like a year, and they traded him.
That's the best receiver he's ever had.
I know, but the thing, Tennessee has been cheats. No,
They got to the AFC title game.
I know, which was an anomaly, dude. It happened 1 year, and they have been cheeks. And also because of Derrick Henry. I swear to God, dude, don't.
And Tannehill.
No,
and Jeffrey Simmons. But
the Chiefs.
And Kevin Byard.
I swear to God,
but you're picking the Ravens.
I'm becoming less of a good friend to you right now. Every time that we talk.
So you're picking the Ravens?
I do. I'm not trying to.
It's not a bad pick. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not trying to diminish what the Chiefs are, especially after back-to-back Super Bowls. But I do think that with Lamar and Derrick Henry, they have a good offensive line. They've got the weapons. We saw the Lions beat the Chiefs last year, and nobody thought the Lions are.
Okay. I'm still mad about that because Kadarius Toney just couldn't catch a cold that day.
He can't even catch a paycheck, dude. they cut his ass.
All right. I'm rolling with Kansas City.
They usually start slow. I do like Derrick Henry. I will take the Ravens reluctantly, but I'll take the Ravens week 1.
Okay, next we got in Brazil, which I don't even know how to pick this game. Green Bay and Philadelphia. It's in
I'm,
Brazil,
oh,
so
I'm,
I don't
I'm,
even know. I
dude,
don't
I'm
even know.
smashing Philly.
You're smashing Philly. I was thinking Philly. I was thinking Philly too. Because Green Bay, I was one of the few people that thought Green Bay was still a playoff team last year. I have the chance to prove that. I thought Green Bay was a playoff team last year. You
I
know,
don't
I
trust
didn't. I didn't.
Baltimore at all.
I don't think the Lions. I don't think the Lions. I didn't think the Lions were going to explode like they did, but I thought Green Bay at the time was still the most overall complete team in that division. So I thought that they were still going to be a playoff team. I
Fair.
didn't, and I thought Jordan Love. I was like Jordan Love. As long as he's not terrible, I thought they would just be. I thought they would be a wild card team.
Competent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think this game, I think Philly wins. But the environment is what troubles me. So this,
Being in Brazil.
yeah, I don't know what to expect with that. But okay. So next we got Pittsburgh going to Atlanta, which is kind of a strange. I don't know. I don't know why that game has been giving me so much troubles to pick. But as of right now, I'm going with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh goes into Atlanta and wins that game.
I understand your thought process.
It's a very weird game.
Dude, that is a goofy game. But I'll go Atlanta mostly because I feel like they got a lot of talent offensively, and now they're going to be able to actually have that be utilized because they're not going to be handcuffed by their quarterback. It doesn't mean that I believe in Kirk Cousins. It just means that those dudes are going to get fed. And Jesse Bates, Judon being traded for,
and they got Justin Simmons.
Right. So I'm with you. It's not. I don't feel great about it, but I would go.
I would. This could change for me.
Go Atlanta.
This could change for me. And Arizona at your Buffalo Bills.
Ooh, okay. So
I'm not going to deal with this with you. Let's just pick Buffalo and move on. There's no way you're going to pick Arizona to win this game.
No. Because
I'm not dealing with this.
I wouldn't want to bet this game because I usually don't. When it comes to the Bills, I don't usually bet on my team. I understand why you would want Buffalo to, like, why you think that they would win because obviously Josh Allen. But I'm not 100% certain. Kyler Murray is Kyler Murray. He's very difficult to.
He's a little gnat for sure.
He's a gnat. He's very difficult to contain. The Bills, their best their best corner is Rasul, and they don't have Matt Milano's out for the next half a year basically.
Yeah.
So their linebacking core is decimated. They don't.
Dorian Williams is going to step up for sure. Who? Dorian Williams.
I mean,
I think so.
But like they're safeties. They're young, or they're either A, young, or B, they're just not that good.
Who's their safeties? Who's their safeties? I don't even know.
Bishop Sycamore. They got a rookie, and I think his last name is Bishop.
I don't even know who it is. But you got DeMar Hamlin.
Man, I was gonna make a joke, but I thought better of myself.
So make a
no,
pick.
like they don't like Kaiir Elam is basically their second best corner. So, and their safeties are all either, like I said, Bishop is young. Cole Bishop is his name.
Cole Bishop. He's the white dude
out of Notre Dame. Yeah, he's the Cooper DeJean of the AFC East. But he plays safety instead of corner. But I don't have a whole lot of faith in everything. So when I look at this game, it could be sneaky, man. Like the Bills could lose week 1 because Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to get so much attention, and I don't have a whole lot of faith in the opposite corners. Like I said, Kaiir Elam, Benford is really good in the slot. Teron Johnson's really good in the slot. But as far as a number 2 corner on the outside. I don't think that Buffalo is a lock for this, man. They could still win, but
Who are
I
you
don't.
picking?
Man,
You know what? You really just
man, I hate you. I hate you, dog. I'll go Buffalo, but reluctantly.
God damn. All right. Tennessee at
I,
Chicago.
dude, I had to express myself because people think I'm a bad Bills fan, and I'm just being honest. I will be quicker on the other ones.
All right. So we got Tennessee at Chicago.
Ooh,
I think
I'm
the
gonna go
vibe in
Chicago.
Chicago. I think the vibe in Chicago, the excitement for Caleb Williams, the hype there. I think they're gonna get that week 1 game.
And also Levis's cheeks. So yeah, I'll go.
I don't think Levis is cheeks.
Really? Okay.
I think he's definitely on the lower tier, but like I think he's very hot and cold. I think he can give really good or really bad. So we'll see what his medium is. But
I like everything with Chicago. I think that between Edmonds, Jackson on the defensive end, and then also having
Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat, like just having a ridiculous roster.
Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquez.
Yeah, on those mid teams when they're playing other mid teams, anything could happen. But I would take Chicago.
Okay, so we got this is an interesting one. Honestly, I think it's interesting. New England at Cincinnati. I think it's interesting only because regardless of what we think about New England, they're always going to be able to play defense. And if hopefully Christian Gonzalez comes back healthy, hopefully he comes back healthy. But that's going to be a very ugly game, I think. I think that's going to be a very ugly game. And especially, I don't know if Chase holding out. I don't know.
Well, that's the biggest thing. And even if the thing for me is that even if he were to hold out, I would still take Cincinnati. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez is like he obviously is their best defensive player, especially now with Judon being traded. But like that roster is just absolute trash. So I would still take even if Jamar Chase doesn't play, I would take Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think it'll be a very, very, very ugly game, and I think New England will be in it till the end. But I think that whatever the spread is, I think I'll probably take New England with the spread. But I think Cincinnati's going to win that game. I think Cincinnati would win that game. But
to me, if this game was later in the season and it was at home with New England, then like you had just mentioned with it getting ugly, I'd be more open to take that then. But in week 1 where the weather's still good, nah, I'm still smashing Cincinnati.
Understand. So we got the first of our 2 division. We got the first of our, how many is it? 2 division games. So we got Houston at Indy. And this is probably, I guess this would be my first upset pick. I'm taking Indy.
Ooh, you went straight to Indy, huh?
I'm taking Indy. I'm taking Indy. Those teams always and I think Indy still has a sour taste in their mouth based on how that game last year ended, because they were battling for the playoffs, and I think dude literally dropped the ball that would have been a first down, and who knows what happens after that. Indy could have very well won that division instead of Houston. I think they're a lot closer than people think. I think the adding of Stephon Diggs is like the sexy ad per se. But I think Indy is still a really good football team, like overall. Indy at home wanting to get their get back. I think Indy pulls that game out. And you're gonna have Jonathan Taylor healthy.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, because I think that Indianapolis is better than what people think as well. And I've said this on multiple times on the podcast, is that Houston to me is a team that I feel is going to be overvalued overall. Like not in the division, like not week to week, but saying that they're Super Bowl favorites and having them being like the fifth best odds, I feel like that's asinine.
It's easy.
Um,
It's easier to play when you don't have those expectations.
right, exactly.
Last year they didn't have any. Same thing with Green Bay. They didn't have any.
Right, exactly. And that's exactly why I'm not high on the Texans or the Packers. It doesn't mean I think they're gonna be trash. It just means you have an expectation of them, and I just don't have that. So, but week one though, I understand where you're coming from. I do feel that Houston would win week one, mostly because I don't think that Indianapolis has enough talent offensively. Yes, they have Jonathan Taylor, and yes, they have.
I love their receiving core.
Really?
Adonai Mitchell, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., and Josh Downs. I think Jelani Woods is mad talented. I don't know if he'll ever put it together, but he's from a physical perspective, he's mad talented.
It is. I'm not saying that I disagree with you, but when you look at it, if you're doing this just from like a blanket statement of though the Colts team and then also the Texans where they've got Nico Collins and Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs and CJ Stroud, for me it's always been I don't like dumbing it down to availability is your best ability because I feel it's a very lame thing for people to just say. But I do think that I feel like the ceiling for Anthony Richardson is just off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I haven't seen him put anything together because they were both rookies last year and he got injured. So I don't want to say that he can't do it, but at least I have the sample size of me seeing what CJ Stroud can do. I'm taking Houston over Indy, but I understand your reasoning for Indy, but I would take Houston on that one.
That's fair. Jacksonville going to Miami.
Ooh, I hate that. So that one's fun because usually you have some travel. Right, you got to go cross country or at least time zones or maybe like just something. But you could walk basically from Jackson to Miami,
yeah, pretty much.
And it's in Miami. You're both used to the weather. I picked Jacksonville as my number one defense in my fantasy league, so I don't want to just do that. But I would take Miami. I like Jacksonville's defense to me, I think is going to be really underrated this year. I like what they have, but week one, I think I picked Miami to win straight up.
Miami is, in my opinion, on paper at least, the best offense in the league, and everybody, and you pretty much got the same group of guys coming back, and you got to upgrade at tight end, which is even crazier. Jonnu Smith is on the damn team.
So he was. I did a podcast episode 2 weeks ago. We were talking about like fantasy sleepers, and Jonnu Smith was my sleeper because when you have the offense with A-Chain and Mostert and Waddle and Tyreek Hill, he's going to be somebody you can get later on in your draft. I think that Jonnu Smith's going to have a really sneaky nice year.
My sleeper was Chase Brown off the Bengals. Bengals running back.
Dude?
Yeah, that's my sleeper dude. Bengals running back. Like Chase Brown, I would just keep looking at him in my draft, and I'm like, oh my god, he's still there, but I know he's still gonna be there. So I would always get him like late. And I think they got Zach Moss as a starter, but I'm just like, bro, Zach Moss is straight, but Chase Brown is gonna take that shit over eventually. I think so. But you're picking Miami. I'm picking Miami too. I think I think personally Miami. This is the best time for them, not the playoffs. Hot weather. I pick them. If it's hot and it's not in December, I'm picking Miami
for sure.
What we got next? Carolina at New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Weird enough. I'll be that guy. I'm taking Carolina.
Really?
Taking Carolina.
So the thing is, like, I under one, they're both not great teams.
I think New Orleans is okay.
No, they're fine. But like Adam Thielen is 30 plus years old. Bryce Young is basically 3'4". There's like
Bryce Young's the same size as like Russell Wilson.
Again, 3'4".
That's not very nice. Hey, who else?
No,
yeah, Adam Thielen getting Deontay Johnson, drafting Xavier Legette, and they still drafted Mingo. They drafted Jonathan Mingo from last year. I think that one of the tight ends, I don't think he'll make a real impact this year, but maybe next year, Jatavian Sanders, the dude they drafted out of Texas. They addressed the offensive line. They addressed every possible need that they could possibly address. And I think Bryce Young is going to be better. I don't know how good he's going to be, but I think he's going to be better. I mean, you can't get much worse. But
you can't get much worse. There's that. But I'm kind of in the same boat where I do believe that.
I think the Saints are pretty much stagnant. I think you kind of know what they are, and they're a decent team. But I think the Panthers are going to come in and punch them in the mouth. The Saints don't have the same offensive line that they usually have. So I think the Panthers, especially how good Derrick Brown has gotten, Derrick Brown is going to be a problem that game.
I'm more worried about the Panthers defensively than I am offensively. I mean, I know, because again, like you said, it's going to be stagnant. I kind of know what I'm going to get with them. I feel like it's going to be very conservative underneath Adam Thielen, as long as he can still get separation as part of their number one guy. But what I'm worried about is what they're going to do on the defensive side, because Kamara is still that dude to me. So to me, this game between the Panthers and Saints is a toss-up, and I reluctantly pick New Orleans, but I would pick
you said New Orleans really fast at first. Now it's reluctant. You said it without thinking at first.
Well, because you got to talk it out though, dude. Because when I do word association, who's good and who's not, word association is the Panthers are cheats. So if you ask me, Patriots, Giants, or Panthers off the cuff, I'm going to say they're going to lose. But then once I start, being my rational self and getting things back in order, I can talk myself into certain things. But no, I still think the Panthers will lose. But now that I'm saying it out loud, I could absolutely see them winning, only because it's week one and because weird things happen week one. But I'm still going to go New Orleans.
Happen. So the next one is a very interesting game. Minnesota at the Giants.
It's not interesting. It's just going to be dumb.
I think it's interesting.
You have I want to get your perspective first, because Giants and Vikings seems like the worst kind of hell for a football fan to watch week one this year, at least.
I don't know, man. It's really weird because it's like, both quarterbacks suck for real, but it's like both quarterbacks suck, but the Giants defense is way better. So I would pick the Giants. I would pick the Giants at home. Like, I mean, Sam Darnold could surprise me, but like.
You said it's at Minnesota?
No, it's at New York. It's at the Giants.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think I'm going with the Giants. I think Daniel Jones has to I think it's very important, because he knows that unless something dramatic happens this year, he knows this is his last year starting.
To me, it doesn't even matter if anything exponential happens. There is not one fiber in my being that believes that he can be an actual starting quarterback, but I do see them winning this game only because I trust the Giants offensive line a little bit more. I think Malik Neighbors is going to be awesome.
You say you trust their offensive line.
I trust it this game.
I trust their line versus the Vikings D line.
But that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
I trust them this game. I trust them to hold up enough, because the thing with Daniel Jones is like, even though I think that he is arguably
he's the slowest, fastest dude I've ever seen.
He is one of the if we're gonna do this, I don't like doing top fives and top 5 on the bottom end. But if we're doing this on the best or worst, I think that he's one of the 5 worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL. So, but I trust the offensive line enough. Danielle Hunter is gone. Malik Neighbors is awesome. I don't think this isn't going to be a blowout. And me even saying that
I don't think they're going to score that many points, honestly. I think this will be like 16-13.
Exactly. It is going to be ugly and disgusting. And if the Giants win, to me, it will not be because of Daniel Jones. But I like the offensive line enough. I like Neighbors. I'm not happy about saying this because I've been so critical of Jones, but I would pick. I'll pick the Giants over Minnesota.
All right, I do too. So the Vegas at the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh's first NFL game back in a while. I'm picking the Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers. The Raiders are just a mess. They're just all discombobulated right now. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to get the best out of the limited skill guys that he has. And I think and I know one thing for sure, Jim Harbaugh is going to run Gus Edwards into the ground. Like Jim Harbaugh is going to run Gus Edwards ragged. But I don't think the Raiders, I know they did just get Christian Wilkins, which is a huge help. But the Raiders still have to prove to me that they can stop the run. And if they can't stop the run, which I don't think they will, Jim Harbaugh will run that ball 40 times. And Justin Herbert is good enough to impact the game in 20 less than 25 throws. So I think the Chargers win that game.
I agree with, as far as your thought process, I agree with damn near everything. But it's week 1. Things are goofy. And what's even more goofy is Gardner Minshew. I'm gonna take the Raiders. I don't like it, but I'm gonna take the Raiders. I'm gonna take the Raiders over the Chargers.
Man,
I don't let. Dude, I even hate myself for saying that, but that's where I'm at, though.
That's fine. Okay, next we got my guys. We got Denver at Seattle. I'm not gonna lie, like I got Seattle as well, of course, but and Seattle's wearing their throwback uniforms week 1. You cannot lose.
Are they wearing like the Steve Largent?
Yes. You cannot lose.
They're gonna win by 50,000 points.
You cannot lose wearing those. You cannot lose wearing those uniforms.
If you lose, Ricky Waters is coming through that tunnel and beating the absolute hell out of whoever's playing quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Man, I've been hearing great things about Grubb, about Ryan Grubb's offense. It's really been something. And like I said, I love the skill position guys we got. Like the offensive line is really the key. I don't want a great one. I mean, I want a great one, of course, but realistically, I'm just hoping for average. I think an average offensive line makes this team way better. And if they can be an average offensive line against Denver, Denver has no damn chance.
Yeah, I'm relatively with you.
Because I don't even know who Denver has on their team, on their defense at least. But other than Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, I was gonna say besides Surtain, like it's kind of the
who else? Who else? I can't even think of somebody off the top of my head.
But I think that when it comes to Seattle, at least this particular game, yes, like you had mentioned about the offensive line and things like that. Going forward, I don't believe that Seattle is really a contender for, a Super Bowl or anything like that. But in this particular game, because they've got Witherspoon, they've got Walker on the offensive side of the ball as well. On top of the fact of like their offensive weaponry is ridiculous. Bo Nix might be good, but
I'm gonna give a shout out to my guy Jake Bobo. If they don't know about Jake Bobo, they're gonna learn about Jake Bobo.
Jake Bobo.
Shout out. Big play Bobo.
Big that was some awkward ass on my end. But
big play Bobo.
But no, I got Seattle as well. I think that, the Broncos cut Patrick. They got a rookie quarterback. Seattle is loud as hell. No, I got Seattle.
Yeah. But if we can stop the run, that's going to be the key because Javonte Williams is a bull in a china shop. Tackling him is a nightmare. But, that's the only thing I'd be worried about. This is another one that's been eyeing me. Dallas at Cleveland.
Dallas at Cleveland. See, that one's always.
I think I'm picking Cleveland, and I will say if you're betting on overs, take the Amari Cooper over, whatever it is. Amari Cooper.
No, man, you told me that you were not doing over unders and bets. No, you told me straight up. Don't. I'm
talking about if you're doing FanDuel. If you're doing FanDuel, I'm picking Cleveland to win. But I'm saying if you're doing FanDuel, then Amari Cooper over.
It's at Dallas or it's at
Cleveland? It's at Cleveland.
Ooh.
It's at Cleveland. I have pretty much given up on Houston Deshaun Watson coming back. I think everybody should. Houston Deshaun Watson is not coming back. You know what I'm saying? But Cleveland does have Dallas beat in the trenches on both sides, honestly. They have Dallas beat in the trenches. Well, offensive line is kind of maybe a wash, but I definitely would take Cleveland's defensive line.
So it's to me, I'm not. There's very few games on the first week that I definitively will say it's a wrap. Cleveland Dallas is not one of those games, mostly because CeeDee Lamb is not going to play this game. But also Denzel Ward is.
Denzel Ward is injured, but CeeDee's not playing.
No, he's from what I understand, he's not supposed to play week 1. Now maybe that changes, but that's my understanding at least.
I had no idea.
But even if CeeDee Lamb plays, then okay, maybe I would swing the other way. But I'm kind of with you with the offensive line, defensive line, the secondary. Mm-hmm. It's not that I hate Dallas in general, but if CeeDee Lamb is not going to play, to me, this is, even with Denzel Ward being out, man, Nick Chubb is
Nick Chubb is out for weeks.
Nick Chubb is out for the first 4 weeks too.
Yeah, but I like Jerome Ford. Can we
vote for a tie? Can we vote for a tie?
Let's not. No, you're gonna have to pick.
Damn. All right, I'll go Cleveland. Whatever.
Now this, in my opinion, is the second ugliest game. Washington at Tampa Bay. I don't know why that game just reeks to me. I don't know what it is, but Washington at Tampa Bay. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Me too.
I don't really have much to say about. Rookie quarterbacks, week 1. Not really a fan of him. Not really a fan of rookies week 1, but so
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same. I'm kind of in the same boat. On top of the fact that like Curtis Samuel isn't there anymore. Washington. Now they do have Austin Eckler, but are they going to use him?
I don't think they're going to use him to his full capacity. And
Right.
even then, Tampa's pretty decent stopping the run anyway. So
Well, Eckler has not really been a huge run supporter. He's always been used out of the backfield, but now
I
the
mean, the
commander
combo is great.
Brian Robinson.
The combo is great, but I don't know if they'll use it to its
Right.
full capability.
Now, if
Why?
we're talking about, so actually, now that I think about this, like fantasy wise, obviously Eckler's to me is not going to be a big enough impact guy, but ooh, maybe Washington could sneak that one out. So who do you have?
I'm picking Tampa. And
I think so. I think I'm going to lean Tampa as well, mostly because they have. So over the past like 3 years, they have almost everybody that they drafted is on their squad. You know, they have that continuity. I try not to overplay that, but I do think it's going to help. Again,
it does make a difference.
Was it?
I said it does make a difference.
Well, there's that, and then again, there's Jaden Daniels being a rookie going into an on road. I don't love it, but I would go Tampa Bay as well.
And we got the Sunday night game, which I can't wait to watch again. The Rams at the Lions. Matthew Stafford going back to Detroit again. I think Matthew Stafford and Detroit and the Rams are going to go in and get the win. I think like it's one of those things that like revenge, it's one of those revenge games. I think Matthew Stafford really wants to get that win in Detroit to get that off of his back, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
if Cooper Kupp healthy, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua healthy, Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, the Lions still got to prove, the Lions can be a mess on defense, especially in the secondary. Even though they drafted and addressed the secondary, they're still rookies.
So it's at
Detroit. It's at Detroit, but I'm taking the Rams to win that.
To me, this is a toss-up, mostly because I know that Detroit has been really overvalued in certain leagues or certain, by the betting odds. I'm not as high on Detroit in the long term as most people are, but I do think that they can sneak this one. I'll go Detroit. Reluctantly I'll do it, but I'll go ahead and take Detroit.
All right, and for the first Monday Night Football game of the year, which I'm very surprised that they put this team on Monday Night Football again after what happened last year.
Jets.
The Jets are going to travel to San Francisco and play the 49ers.
So what do you got?
I got the 49ers. I mean, hopefully Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. I don't wish for anybody to get hurt. And personally, I hope that Aaron Rodgers throws for 400 yards on the 49ers.
Because you got him on your fantasy league.
No, I don't. But I just don't like the 49ers. I don't like the 49ers. And I don't know what Aaron Rodgers was just scaring me too much. Like my quarterbacks, the quarterbacks in my league, I pretty much have a rotation between either Caleb, Dak, Jared Goff. And those are pretty much like those three are pretty much like I have at least one of those three in every league I'm in. And but I just think it's the Jets are a tough defense, obviously. Sure. Robert Saleh going back to San Fran. I don't know if he's won already. He probably has, but yeah, I just I think it's going to be a good game for sure, but I think the 49ers at home pull it out. Christian McCaffrey does Christian McCaffrey things at the end of it.
Well,
for me, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, for me, it's more I have San Francisco too, mostly because the Brandon Ayuk thing is completely done. Like that thing is resolved. But if Trent Williams doesn't play, let's just say that hypothetically he's just going to be that dude. We've seen it, man. He's okay with not getting paid, especially because like I know that I'm the best player on your team, and you can make your argument for Debo or Christian or whatever. He knows that he's the most important player on
It's
that
not even
team.
that he wants a new contract. He just wants more guaranteed money.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm like, yo, I would give him that. Like he's earned that.
Well, but see, that's the whole thing. Is that one? You're right. He deserves it. But two, he's already shown he's willing to do that. If he doesn't play week 1, I could see the Jets upsetting the Niners. But because I don't trust the Jets because it's the Jets, even if Trent Williams doesn't play, I'll still go San Francisco because I feel like the talent overall is just bonkers. So I would go if Trent Williams doesn't play, I'd be reluctant. If he does play, then I would emphatically say San Francisco over the Jets.
Man. Ooh. It's gonna be something. I know one thing. The 49ers did draft a left tackle in the 3rd round. So I guess that's who will be starting.
Yeah.
Good luck to I'm saying good luck to that. Like
well, so the other thing too is it's not even just so to I guess now that we're talking about this in real time is yes, Trent Edwards is the biggest factor for me.
Trent Williams.
But the other thing is
you said Trent Edwards.
What did I say?
Trent Edwards.
Oh, I'm you know, I got this Buffalo Bills thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do.
But if they don't sign Trent and he is willing to leave, like just not play, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jets are able to find a way to sign not Russell Douglas, Hassan Reddick. That changes things too because he's not, you know, in the building and he's pissed off about how they're holding things up. So if they can get Hassan, but Trent doesn't sign, I could see the Jets winning. But the overall talent in San Francisco is so exponential that I would still take San Francisco over the Jets.
Yep. Well, some of these picks might change. I'm not locking them in until Sunday. So, you know, some of these might change. But for the most part, you know, that's what I'm rolling with. That's what you're rolling with. But looks like we're going to get up out of here, man.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Well, I appreciate you being on me. That was
3 hours. God damn, man.
Yeah. So it was funny because like Justin rolled in. He was like, "Y'all are still going."
That's
damn. And I've had a couple of these beforehand. So like, are you familiar with Dylan Larson?
Mm-mm.
So he used to work for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's been on the show a couple different times, and we've done some episodes, and we had a 6-hour podcast episode doing everything for the draft 2 years ago, and it was
that is ridiculous.
It was bananas. So Justin said, "Y'all still going?" Yeah, because it's my day off, bro. Ain't nobody.
Yep, but I gotta go to work in a few hours. I gotta be at work at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
That's all good, man. I mean, to be completely honest, I ain't got. I mean,
hey, speaking of time, you got you want to get on that Madden, that NCAA?
Yo, I'm about to fight all of y'all in the streets because I have been asking in the group chats who wants to play and nobody wants to do it.
Hey, you know what?
I have an idea.
No, for real. No,
at this point, it's a you problem, dog.
I didn't know. But guess what? I'm offering it right now. Maybe we can stream the game. We can go. You can go live with the game. Kick your ass.
Let's do that. Justin said the stream
Hey, but let's
thin.
but let's take it. But if we can do that. But let's take an intermission because I'm hungry. I haven't ate nothing all day.
No, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and just go ahead and we'll end it for the day.
You don't want to put the game on there?
Oh, for here? No, man. I gotta read. I'm not saying that I won't stream a game with you. That will happen. But I mean, as far as this installment, no, we gotta end this.
No, I mean, yeah, we can end this. I was just thinking we could come back later and stream the game.
When do you go to work exactly?
I have to be there. I got to be at work at 9, so I got about 3.5 hours. So it's what time?
Madden or college football?
Whatever you want.
PS5?
We got crossplay, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, I know, but
I got Xbox, so but yeah.
You trash. Let's go. All right. We are about to hang it up. Y'all know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, smash the 5-star reviews on all of your audio platforms. Give a big shout. So Jay, you're still doing your podcast, right? Or getting back into the.
Yeah, my new camera just got delivered, and I got some stuff coming in the mail. So I'm really being more invested.
So still the Marvelous Live, right?
Mm-hmm. Still the same.
Marvelous Live on YouTube. Make sure that you, man, hit this guy up. I love Jay. Give him a shout out. Give him a follow.
The regular YouTube channel, Maya Marvelous. I still post on there sometimes. So, we out here. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it all together. Honestly, I don't need to have 2 separate channels. I'm gonna bring it all together.
That's a good.
So just go to Maya Marvelous on YouTube. That's gonna bring it all together, and then soon I'll bust Prescott ass, and yeah, we'll do that.
That is going to be up for debate.
All right, good one. All right, brother, I'm out of here.
Look, thank you, Jay. I appreciate your time. Like, share, subscribe, smash the 5-star reviews because the audio platforms will be available soon. And you guys know the drill. Stay up, stay blessed. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us as well. We will catch you guys on the next one.